All right, welcome in and and there it goes again. Can you turn up my mic real quick or the headset?
Yep.
There we go. And you know what? The sign falling right there is kind of how people were feeling after the wave of games on Sunday. But happy Monday, right? Is Monday hitting you like a train? Well, you're not the only one, but hey, welcome in. Hope you guys did enjoy the rest of your weekend and your Sunday. But guys, it was a wild NFL Sunday. We'll get into all of that. This is what's on the docket today for the Ryan Ripken Show. Number one, we're going to touch on the World Series because it's back to New York. Yankees' backs against the wall, but it's really the storylines around one specific player. And it's on the New York Yankees, and who's probably going to be the AL MVP in Aaron Judge. Then we're going all into the reactions, the emotions, whether it is a very thoughtful conversation you might have, or you are just full of rage or possibly numb to the fact of what happened to your favorite team on Sunday. We will have call-ins later on, but before we have the call-ins later on, Nick Moore of the Baltimore Ravens, he's going to join us at 4 p.m., talk about what happened up in Cleveland and the other storylines. I mean, there's a lot of places we can go. The Jets, what is happening there? Anthony Richardson had a situation that players and coaches are talking about that no one really seems to be questioning or has questioned, because it's about a situation that doesn't usually happen.
Yeah.
And then obviously it was upsets galore, really overall in the NFL. So guys, let's dive on in. But before we dive actually all in, we had a great day. We were up at Hollywood Casino yesterday at Charlestown Races.
Great day.
Incredible.
Fantastic, except for the result.
Yes.
Except for the result, Brad.
Correct.
Other than that, it's a great time.
I don't know, though. I mean, the results on Saturday night in the World Series game, too, was fine by me.
Oh, I mean, the World Series, yes.
Yes.
World Series, yes.
I don't know. There was a football game yesterday, I guess, but I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, that it kind of just got blocked from your memory, right?
Yep.
Except I just have Jameis Winston pregame speeches in my mind.
For the decal, but we don't have one.
Oh, sugar! But we almost got a full house in here. As you're seeing, we got Kevin, Zach, Brad behind doing all the things he does back there.
I will say real fast, the sign dropping to start the show makes a lot of sense.
Indicative of,
makes a lot of, not the first thing in Baltimore to be dropped, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what, on the other side of this, and Eli, we'll get into this, the Hail Mary, like that was on the other side, like that was the pinnacle moment for fans this weekend here. So we'll get into all of that here in just a moment. But guys, let's start off a little bit of baseball talk here, shall we? So the Dodgers and the Yankees, they continue the series, game 3, going back to the Bronx. And quite frankly, this is do or time for the Yankees. I know and understand, right, that no series is necessarily over if you fall down 3-0, right? Like, you're telling me there's a chance? Boston's the only team that we can look back and go, damn, unbelievable what happened in the postseason. But for everybody else, going down 3-0, especially to a talented Dodgers team, feels like a death sentence. But where the conversation actually stems from, look, Yankees could have won game 1. 1 out away, 1 pitch away. Freddie Freeman came through. Game 2, they had their opportunities to tie in the 9th. They didn't. And one of the guys, though, that hasn't stepped up for them really had one moment in the postseason, and that was against the Guardians in game 3, which they ended up losing that game. Tremendous game.
Yeah.
But it's Aaron Judge. And it's really been a tale of two judges, to be honest here. You guys go and look at his numbers in the regular season. He's the best hitter in baseball when you look at it. But postseason, not so much. And Zach, I think, did you pull up some stats on it for this postseason?
Yeah. So let's just start simply with his World Series. So far, he has had 9 at-bats. He has a single hit. And let me find out, he has 6 strikeouts. So he's striking out 2/3 of the time. And like you said, Rip, this is a guy that throughout this year, it was pretty obvious you could toss Shohei Ohtani with what he was doing with 50-50 in there. But for the majority of this season, it was the Aaron Judge show. It was what Aaron Judge was doing was unbelievable. Yeah. He was this insane talent, best in the world, all of this. And then he's disappeared. I'll pull up the playoff stats here in a second while you guys talk, but this has got to be one of those moments where if you're a Yankees fan, you're sitting there thinking, what is going on? The last person this team needed to disappear, you could argue Juan Soto. I mean, he's trying to do anything he can. Giancarlo Stanton trying to do anything he can, and the best player in the world that you fully believe in, your captain, it's got to be horrendous feeling, not only for the fans, but for Aaron Judge himself.
Well, and like the thing in general here, right? Like, and I feel bad for Judge on that sense, right? You're probably sitting there going, what the hell happened? It's like the Monstars in Space Jam took his powers, right? Like that's what it seems like. And when you're looking at what the Dodgers did, and by the way, the first 2 games of the World Series have been sensational. Game one is arguably one of the best World Series games of all time.
It's the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
36 years to that date was Kirk Gibson hitting the walk-off home run, all hurt leg and all, and then doing the pump right there. 36 years to the day, then Freddie Freeman hits the first walk-off grand slam in World Series history. 1 strike away from the Yankees taking game 1, which was a really great back and forth game, right? So what we're seeing is the Dodgers superstars have stepped up. Freddie Freeman, really, right now, he's the World Series MVP front runner. The moment with his dad, Brad, was incredible. Anyone that hasn't seen that clip should go and watch it. Him saying, I wouldn't be here without my dad. He's the one that got me into baseball. He's the one that still throws him BP in the offseason. Tremendous moment. But then that first game, Shohei Ohtani had the big double. Mookie Betts had the sacrifice fly. Freddie Freeman comes through. First game, Soto is a guy that stayed hot. Gleyber Torres is swinging the bat well. Stanton has the big home run in game 1. Aaron Judge has come up to bat in big situations and hasn't capitalized. And now the Yankees are in a hole. It's do or die.
Walking Juan Soto for Aaron Judge used to be like sacrilegious.
Yeah.
But they've already done it this series and didn't think twice about it.
Not even. And so I just real quick, I pulled up his stats from this entire playoffs. They've played 11 games so far. Aaron Judge has 40 at bats. He has struck out in 19 of them. 19 of them.
Crazy.
He has an on-base percentage of 280. His OPS, Aaron Judge, has a 605 OPS, a 325 slugging in these playoffs. This is the guy that was supposed to be the guy to step up. He was supposed to take over, and unfortunately, though, this isn't new for Aaron Judge. In 2022, he batted 139 in 9 postseason games. 2020, in 7 postseason games, he batted 133. In 2017, 13 games, he batted 188. I don't know what it is, but it seems like this has become a trend for Aaron Judge where whether it's something's not clicking in the playoffs, we see this all the time in multiple sports. Unfortunately, as a Ravens fan, I understand top players not always stepping up in the big moments, but it's got to be frustrating for a guy that you think is the best player in the world. And you see Yankees fans asking for him to be moved down in the lineup, which I never thought I'd say.
Well, and here's the other thing. The comparison almost in some cases, like Alex Rodriguez took a lot of heat in the postseason. And actually his first postseason with New York in 2004, he was dynamite. But we all know what happened in 2004. The Yankees lost a 3-game series lead to the Boston Red Sox. But then Alex Rodriguez in 05 hit 133. 06, he hit .071. 2007, he hit 267. And then the year they won the World Series in 2009, talking about superstars here, Alex Rodriguez hit 365 in the postseason right there. So your superstars that you need to count on, they need to come up in big moments. And if it's not, you're going to need those complementary players, Brad. And I even mentioned this before when we were show noting this before. Your superstars can help you to the moments and they can help take you to where you want to go.
Yeah.
And if you have them step up, you had a good chance to win, or you need someone else to step up. Right. And that's the case. Like Tommy Edman has been sensational for the Dodgers, had a great CS, was the CS player of the series, CS MVP, already making an impact in the World Series.
Yep.
If your superstars step up and then your players that are role players like Kike Hernandez and Tommy Edman, it might be lights out for New York, because if their big guys aren't doing that, and then they're complementary guys, no one's coming through in that moment. In the Dodgers, there's a reason why people pick them to win the World Series. I mean, got so much talent.
I think for me, it's Dodgers in 4 at this point. I kind of felt that way after game 1, but after the way game 2 has gone down, I think I don't know how the Dodgers. I won't say that. It's still baseball. It's still a World Series, but like I just would not be surprised. Dodgers in 4.
Yeah. Last thing I want to say is I'm very intrigued about tonight, and it's not necessarily what's going to happen on the field. I'm excited to see the reception Aaron Judge gets, because we all know New York. it's a place where, what have you done for me lately? Are we gonna get the Bronx cheers? Are we gonna get some boos? It's gonna be interesting to see. And then last and final thing, I've seen a few reports now coming out that the Dodgers are interested in pursuing Juan Soto this offseason.
Yeah,
no,
right.
we are not playing baseball games if that happens. We're canceling the league.
Yeah.
We're done. If he goes to the Dodgers and they would have Mookie, Shohei, Juan Soto, Freddie Freeman. Stop playing the games.
Stop traffic right there. It'd be so interesting to figure it all out here. And actually, we got Kevin all situated, or he's getting situated. We had to move all of our stuff around for the show yesterday, so bear with us here. But we got better internet connection here. That is for certain here at the Ryan Ripken Show. Oh, and look at Brad's beautiful face. Say hi, Brad. Grr, baby. Very grr. But the World Series, guys, I think it's been a great postseason. I've really been excited about where this is all going. But no, I don't want to see Juan Soto go to the Dodgers. Juan Soto is going to get paid a lot of money in the offseason. And maybe for Orioles fans,
Let's go Mets.
Maybe he leaves the American League altogether and goes to a different New York team. The METS, Mets.
I just want that so I can root for him. Like, I love watching Juan Soto play baseball, and I can't enjoy it as much if it's in the Bronx.
There's an old man here in Baltimore who's pretty long in the tooth that made mention about how he needs to get this Orioles team to a point to where they need to winning a World Series because he doesn't have a whole lot of time left. And that's a quote from the old man.
So come on, Juan. You like crab cakes?
Yeah. Lifetime crab cakes.
Get on it, Jimmy's.
Well, we will find out there. I'll tell you what, they will be aggressive. We'll talk a lot of things Orioles related as we move forward into the off season here. And do we have Kevin back on track?
Yeah, we're good. Sorry.
Speak, Kevin.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Kevin.
Oh, now
there he is.
Hey.
Yeah.
There he is.
Very nice.
There he is. Well, Kev, I know you had some football or baseball conversations. We'll get into that, but I think we do have to go into football because that is where people's reactions, the meat and bones of this conversation. We're going to have Nick Moore join us from the Baltimore Ravens at 4 p.m. here. Kevin, it was a very interesting Sunday in the NFL. I mean, across the board here, right? So first off, let's just rip the Band-Aid off of this case. There was a lot of great games, and the Ravens weren't the only team, but it's a lot of people. That's who the team that they were affiliated with. You're a Commanders fan.
Yeah, by the way, a lot of Browns fans in Charleston.
Charlestown. Oh, yeah.
There
was
Charlestown. Yeah.
They were looking for a Ravens demise, and boy, did they get it on Sunday. Well, I mean, it's hard to get it, in some cases. Were the Ravens just like cursed yesterday?
Seemed like it.
What did like Jameis, him staring into the camera pregame, talking to the reporter and just staring at the camera. And maybe we had to pull that up on Twitter there.
He was just straight up speaking at him.
Speaking to the people out there listening.
He's just him. He said, "This is the day the Lord has made." Oh no, well, I guess it's actual Bible verse.
Yeah,
he was Bible versing out there.
He gave it was Bible versing, and the decal. We don't play for the decals on the helmet,
even though we don't have any decals.
No, we don't have any decals.
And then he's quoting Eminem after the game.
Yeah,
this guy. I swear to God, he's so weird.
I mean, you got to love him. We talked about the Jameis Winston experience. He's going to give at least 5 throws a game that make you go, that's to the wrong team. And he did it. Brad, how many times did we look at each other and go, we've yet to see Jameis throw to the other team? And then they would, and we'd be like, and we dropped it.
Yeah,
I heard. Go ahead.
Eddie Jackson was targeted 4 times by Jameis Winston yesterday. 5 dropped interceptions, by the way.
So you know what? I heard the grunts and screams of the Ravens fans that were in Charlestown, West Virginia yesterday at Hollywood Casino.
Yeah.
I think I might have heard Kevin squeal from that distance. I thought I heard his noise there.
Oh, yeah.
But Kev, I mean, we all said this on the pregame show yesterday. Well, we're going, what is the Admiral's name in Star Wars? I just got told this yesterday again. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Yeah, I don't know the name, but
none of us felt good about Ravens 8.5.
General Akbar is what we.
Admiral Akbar. Akbar.
Admiral
Akbar is what we're going with. But it felt like a trap, and Kevin, it turned out to be a trap in this game in Cleveland.
Hey, you asked Ryan if the Ravens were cursed, and I would say yes, the curse of the Ravens playing bad teams. Because they cannot get their act together when they play bad teams. Teams are good for games like this probably like once a year. We've seen 2 of them, and the season's not halfway over yet with the Raiders and coming back.
Yeah.
And then now you got this Cleveland game. And what has Bill Belichick said? What have we all said? What have a lot of people said? The Ravens' biggest threat is themselves.
Ravens.
The Ravens
Yeah.
beat the Ravens. And look, Jameis went out there. The Ravens defense made him look like prime Lamar Jackson, prime Mahomes, prime whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But on that, for example, let's just look at the Kyle Hamilton interception that wasn't. He threw it to Kyle Hamilton. The intended receiver on that play for Jameis Winston was Kyle Hamilton, and he drops the game-winning interception.
He threw it to Eddie Jackson though, too.
Yeah,
Like
multiple.
with not one Brown in sight, went straight to Eddie Jackson.
And there are game plan issues. There are coordinator issues. There are special team stuff. John Harbaugh actually just talked to the media 15 minutes ago and roasted the special teams unit for how bad they were. It was just an all-around terrible game, and they just could not get out of their own way, even when Cleveland almost handed them the game on a silver platter at the end of that first half.
Hey,
They tried.
what did Borat say? Right? Sometimes maybe good,
Sometimes maybe shit.
and it was maybe shit yesterday. I mean, across the board, it was one of those games when it happens off the jump, and you sit there and you go, rough start, but like it's not going to be that type of day, is it? And then another thing happens.
The only player on the entire field that did everything they could to win that game was Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I don't know how you throw a bomb 60 yards to a wide open Rashad Bateman, hit him in the face, and he drops the ball. Like, he can't catch the ball and play defense, but that guy balled out yesterday. Nothing bad to say about Lamar Jackson's play yesterday. Everybody else failed him.
Well, and here's
special teams too.
But here's the thing for me, because I'm not gonna. We'll dive into the rest of the NFL. This wasn't just even a Ravens thing league wide, but the expectations were, hey, this is one of the best teams in football. You take care of a team you need to take care of. Now, I think we can all agree it was an upgrade for the Browns to have Jameis Winston at quarterback. Mobility, belief, shot of energy. They look more inspired. And that defense for Cleveland, like we said before, is actually a solid unit.
Yeah.
They are a solid unit.
Yeah.
They played hard. That was the hardest that they had played in weeks. And it was against a division rival where you're always going to have it be played tougher. But the issue that happened is once one interception got dropped, you're going, I hope it's not that type of day. Then you drop some passes. I hope it's not that type of day. And then Justin Tucker misses a field goal. Damn, it feels like that type of day. And then the Kyle Hamilton, unfortunately, because I thought Kyle actually overall thought he played well, man.
He was
the best player on the defense.
He was the best player on the defense. He was making play after play, and you could tell how much that hurt him. And the Ravens needed a play to be made. We'll get into like all the defensive conversations here, and we'll have call-ins as we go later. But why don't we play a clip then? Because Pat McAfee had Bill Belichick on. Bill Belichick, one of the best defensive minds in the game. He was asked about this Baltimore Ravens defense, Brad. So why don't we play that clip for you guys, and we'll react on the other side.
From the Ravens pass defense, and is that something that's fixable?
Well, I'm sure they hope it is. They brought in Dean Pease last week as a advisor or consultant or whatever it was, and I think that's Dean's background is in pass defense. He's been with the Ravens. I mean, he's a great defensive coordinator in the league, and I'm sure that part of bringing him in there was to address the overall defensive situation. Look, they lost 3 good defensive coaches last year. McDonald, and then two other guys that moved on as coordinators. So I would say just the overall lack of experience defensively on their staff is, maybe something that Coach Harbaugh and the Ravens organization wanted to address. And, I think that probably has something to do with Dean being in there. But that's not taking anything away from War. I'm just saying, just overall experience on the defensive staff is valuable.
So that was Bill Belichick just talking about, having presence on that staff. Things aren't going well in general, and they have to be fixed, right? That's the message here. And guys, I think because overall, once again, Ravens rush defense, fine. Okay, right? Like
right.
That's they contained Nick Chubb. That run game was not the problem.
Right.
Jameis Winston threw for over 330 yards in this game, including the game-winning touchdown. Cedric Tillman had himself a day, and I know you're all wondering who Cedric Tillman is. That's a great thing. Great game for that young man, by the way. Fantastic, but that's a name that no one probably knew in Baltimore until yesterday. And so when you're looking at it, I'll tell you what, one glaring thing, guys, and I don't know who wants to go next with this. No one's getting home for the pass rush right now for the Ravens.
Yep.
So the hardest thing, even though for the secondary, how do you help a secondary out? You got to get pressure on the quarterback here.
Yeah.
And I mean, and Kev, I see you nodding your head.
Yeah.
That's been the conversation. Trade deadline's a week away. I think that has to be a priority piece for Baltimore because you have a banged up secondary a little bit right now. Had guys in different positions or playing, more snaps, but there was the same result. But one thing you can't have, I don't care who the quarterback is, they get that amount of time in the pocket. That is too much to ask of a secondary that's trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's hilarious in hindsight, but there was a hilarious next gen stats, like the bubble clip. If you see the player bubbles, Jameis Winston on one play in the red zone had 5.5 seconds to throw and threw it directly to Eddie Jackson. He dropped the ball, like literally right to him. So even when the pass rush isn't getting home here, John Harbaugh talked about this, and I know we've talked about it on here every single week, seemingly for the past month. The pass rush and the secondary are supposed to be married together. They could not be further divorced right now. They're signing paperwork and they're divorced right now because it goes hand in hand with each other, right? Where covered sacks are a thing, right? If you can cover well, your pass rush has more time to get home. On the contrary, if your pass rush gets there quickly, your secondary doesn't have to cover as much because with every second that goes by, with a quarterback standing back there looking for someone to throw the ball to, guys can break open, guys can work back to the quarterback.
Right.
But Odafe Owe has seemingly been nowhere to be found for the most part over these last couple of weeks. David Ajabo, I heard you guys talking about it on the pregame yesterday. I mean, he was a healthy scratch yesterday.
Yep.
Like, what are they? Kyle Van Noy's had a great start to the year, but
kind of supporting
kind of falling off, right?
They bring in Ngakoue. He's had actually, and weirdly enough, he's probably the guy that's been closer to the quarterback most of the time. It feels like he's one of the only guys. So I'm not sure what they have to do. But Ryan, as you said, trade deadline now a week away, week and 1 day away. Something's got to happen, and this cannot be the team that they take into week 10 or whatever that would be.
And you know what? Some things that happen that can't be explained as well about talking about a team being inspired. And, Chris Evans, and Chris, shout out to you because this is a good point to be brought up. And again, you still have to go out and play the game. The Ravens should have won this game. The play-by-play voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan, did just pass away. You made a quarterback change. You're playing more inspired. The Browns did everything that they should have done to try to win this game. And may Jim Donovan rest in peace, by the way. Yeah. Those people there, just for everyone knows this, that means something to a community. Everyone can talk about any sports community that you're in. That's what Jim embodied there for Cleveland.
Yeah.
But on the field for Baltimore, it was a thing of, all right, Cleveland did what they had to do, and they're a banged-up team themselves. They're trying to figure it out. And quite frankly, when you think of it, if you were to say, we're going to put our backup quarterback in, we traded away our number one wide receiver, and we haven't scored more than 20 points all season, right? 20 was the highest they got? 18, right? 18 points the entire season.
And that's actually, and I mentioned that that's worst in the NFL, also the worst in college football. There isn't a college football team that scored less points than that this season. So take that, and then the Ravens, of course, end up allowing way more points than that.
Yeah. And I mean, there's one thing. This could honestly be the best thing that happens for Baltimore, and I'll explain why. I always told you guys as well, when people tell you your shit don't stink.
Yeah.
Don't always believe it, man, because you might just have no sense of smell at the moment, but there still might be that nasty odor that's around. And for Baltimore, it gets band-aided when you win.
Yeah.
When you win games, you have time then to go out. So if the Ravens won this game, you can sit there and go, we won another game, and we have a little bit more time to figure this out without the pressure.
Right.
Well, that was Dallas. That was Cincinnati, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And
those
so
are those games.
They won those games, and you're sitting there going, well, damn. All right, we won those games. We're going to get better. Flip to the other side. The Eagles barely escaped the Browns, and people are calling for Sirianni's head. And sometimes, he's still sitting there. We're going, what the hell? But now the Eagles defense has won now 3 straight games. Now they're almost atop the NFC East. It can change in an instant, right? So for the Ravens, what's baffling is that their losses on the year, they got the Kansas City loss, makes sense. But then your other losses are to the Raiders at home and now at Cleveland. Tough road game, but it could be the best thing that happens. Why? You got Denver coming in, who their defense is solid. Rookie quarterback, though, you should take advantage of. And then, by the way, you're going to have a pissed-off Bengals team coming to Baltimore in 2 weeks, 10 days.
By the way, I think Charm City Don also brings up a good point here. The Ravens should also lead the league in INT, or they lead the league in penalties as well. I talked about this yesterday during the game when we were watching it, Rip. One of the most undisciplined teams I've seen in recent memory, with all the penalties. I mean, one of the big reasons why the Raiders were still in the game is because the Ravens had 110 yards, 110 penalty yards.
It was high.
And so that's the part that kind of makes me rip my hair out as well. It's just like there's a lot of penalties. I think Charlie Kolar had a bunch of them yesterday, and Ronnie Stanley had a few too. So like just a lot of undisciplined ball out there as well.
It got to the point where me and Brad yesterday, we were sitting there and the big play would happen and we wouldn't celebrate because we just watched it. We'd be like, no flag, no flag, no flag. And then like you'd see them start to move and then you're like, okay, there we go. But you just, every big play, you were like, where's the graphic?
Yeah.
Like, where's the flag graphic? You're like, there it is, holding on the offense.
And to close out this point, Kev, you had something you wanted to add on here.
Yeah, well, the Raiders right now are a 2-6 football team. The Browns right now are a 2-6 football team. So 2 of their losses combined are against combined records of 4-12.
Ooh.
Nice.
But here's a stat just to round out the secondary segment of this. The Ravens last season, their defense compared to this year, the Ravens right now, we're past week 8, are less than 1,000 yards away from matching their 2023 total. And we're not even halfway through the season yet.
Oh, happy Monday, Kevin.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Happy Monday to you too. Happy Monday to you too.
Thank you for that. But hey, thank you all for tuning in today. It's the Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live every Monday and Thursday and pre-games when the Ravens play. We did the last one up at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in
West Virginia.
But we'll be back here on this Sunday when the Ravens get ready for the Broncos. But we go around the NFL here, so make sure you are tuned in, subscribed. We are live on X and on YouTube. And we're going to have our call-ins coming in later. Brad, right? Members of the channel, you can call in and voice your displeasure or just emotions on whatever you want it to be, right? That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, you can hit the join button next to subscribe to be part of the Ryan Ripken's Good Kids, or the Holy Shirts and Pants Club. If you are a part of either one of those, I'm just going to extend to either one of those. You can actually call in and join the show. I'll share the link for that in our community tab on YouTube. I also tossed it in here on the chat as well. But guys, you got to be able to support the channel in order to be a part of the show, part of the ship, part of the crew.
Part of the ship, part of the crew. Which movie, Kevin?
Saving Private Ryan.
Oh my God,
Jesus.
Zach.
No, I don't know, but that was a funny guess.
No.
Thank you. I feel like
Part of
that's
the
your favorite
ship,
part of this.
part of the
How
ship, part of the crew.
How about
Random
this? How about
movies.
this then? It's like you best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one.
Very Odd Parents.
What?
Timmy Turner.
No,
Miss Turner.
not Miss. No. Jesus Christ.
Is it Ghostbusters?
It's Pirates of the Caribbean.
Elizabeth Turner.
For fuck's sake.
Bootstrap Bill.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
What? You never seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
Okay.
Oh my God.
All right.
No.
We're going to continue on here. We're going to get more back into the Ravens discussion here in a moment. Because, again, we have Nick Moore for the Baltimore Ravens joining us at 4 p.m. But we want to go around. Look, the Ravens weren't the only team that had issues this weekend, right? There was only one, like, true. Let's go positive. Let's go triumph moment. Then we'll get back down into, like, holy shirts and pants. This is brutal.
Yeah.
If you're a Commanders fan, you are ecstatic because you felt like things were going wrong where you couldn't close it out or get a touchdown in the red zone. You were down there a ton.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the Bears sneak a touchdown at the end of the game. And then Jaden Daniels, man, like the legend of Jaden Daniels is starting to grow in Washington. There's some magic in the air. And you know what it also has done? It has brought a belief back to a fan base and organization. Guys, that was one of the coolest moments, had to have been that moment, the crushing it moment of the week here.
Oh, yeah.
Jaden Daniels, tip drill, balls caught. First off, I just want to say with the Commanders, good for them.
Yeah.
It was amazing to watch the celebration in the stands.
Caleb
Just
Williams,
the
not
emotion.
better than Jaden Daniels, by the way.
Well, we're going to see, you know what we're talking about, the Commanders here. Brad just couldn't.
Yeah, no,
contain
Brad never
himself
misses
there.
an opportunity for some Caleb Williams stuff. going
Listen,
on.
33 passing yards in the first half.
Let's get through the Commanders first here for a second. But Jaden Daniels playing with the rib injury, I thought he played extremely well. I thought that the Bears defense did do their job to keep them in the game. But I'll tell you what, man, the deep ball to Scary Terry was beautiful. Him extending plays with his legs. You're talking about why people say a Lamar comparison. They're different players. They are.
Yes.
But the electricity with the ball in his hand when he has to make a move or make a defender miss, that's the closest thing to Lamar right now. It was really cool to watch. And then here the Commanders are. Their defense is starting to round into form. They look good. And for the Bears, look, their defense is the real deal. They played extremely well. They gave their team a chance. But, guys, I guess we got to talk about that last play, then the Hail Mary, because it wasn't just the headline that Noah Brown caught that pass. It was that a fan caught the video of Brown's cornerback Stevenson.
Yeah.
The play starts. Do we have that video?
Yeah, we do.
Let's play it. You're going to see Stevenson.
I think everybody has this video.
Is not necessarily looking at the field. Starts. Let's pause this for a second. Okay, the ball is snapped.
Yeah.
So we're going red 7, hot route, and he's still
Omaha,
and he's over here.
The receivers are 15 yards down the field.
They're already moving.
and his back's to them.
My favorite is you look in the bottom there, you can see the Bears fans pointing at him. The play started. Look, the play is going on. The Bears fans are pointing at him saying, pay attention. And he's just taunting fans.
And now let's keep going. I got it. Here we go.
He doesn't turn around until these guys look 25-yard line. They're at the 25-yard line. And then he kind of just, if you play it, he walks for a little bit.
I got it. Here we go.
And then, all right, he's
So
kind of shading over.
He's at the S of Commanders before that, and they have guys from the 15-yard line in at the moment. Now, granted, he did end up getting over there, but some would say, well, maybe if you were over there to start, it'd be a little bit good. But I think the bigger point is they lost the game. Your player's not paying attention to the play on the field.
Yeah.
Well, and it was his hand
And
that
it was
knocked
his
the ball.
hand. So I'll do the pause and play here. So Jaden's going to scramble here again. And maybe this is a whole different discussion about coaching we'll get into. But so right there, he's the furthest from the ball right now still. That's him. Keep your eyes on him.
He's on the E right there.
So keep an eye on him. Oh, we're jumping.
He's going to make a play. Oh, no.
He hit it right there.
He batted the ball. He basically volleyballed it to Brown there.
Here, we're going to bring it back again.
I'll just say
that's the smartest thing you can do with this situation for the Commanders.
I watched when I was watching this live, I got an insane flashback to AJ Green.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I almost fell to my knees. I was so
I was
happy.
at that game.
I was sitting there. I was like, there's one. People always forget that the Ravens still won that game.
Yeah.
In OT.
But you know what? The Bears didn't win that one. And look, like, no one's talking about it really if the Commanders don't win that game, that ball gets swatted down. But also, people aren't going to – you can't let the Bears off the hook with the coaching decisions, because this is where I want to go into.
Yeah.
Because I thought that the Bears did not deserve to win this game under no circumstances.
No.
I thought it was – I like what the defense is doing. Credit to the defense up until the final two plays. They were really good.
Yes.
The offense, not good. But Matt Eberflus, let's start with the coaching side of it here. Matt Eberflus was asked about the end of the game here. So let's play his clip of addressing how they could have defended it better. Okay?
Last play before the Hail Mary, 13-yard strike, they get out of bounds in 2 seconds. Are you preparing that play for them to run some kind of shots to the end zone laterally, or is that something where you're – how do you look back on that spot?
Yeah, because you're defending touchdown, right? You're defending touchdown there, and them throwing a ball for 13 yards or 10 yards, whatever that is, doesn't really matter. It's always going to come down to that last play. And it came down to a 2-second play to the last play, and we got to execute on that one.
So the question was, could he have defended it differently, or what you would have done? And his design was, well, the first, giving a 15-yard completion doesn't matter. Well, in this case, it certainly did when you're talking about a Hail Mary attempt.
Yeah.
And especially that the Commanders, before the Hail Mary on that 15-yard completion, had 0 timeouts. So if they had a 15-yard completion in bounds, the game's over. But the problem was he gave up 15 yards on an uncontested out route that then gave them a chance. And then the guys on Get Up this morning, Dan Orlovsky, Damian Woody, Rex Ryan, their reactions say it all. So let's play that clip for you guys.
This you just don't understand. Like, I think it's a little easier. Dan, maybe I'm wrong. Is it easier to throw the ball 50 yards, 60 yards, or 80 yards?
Yeah.
I don't know unless.
That's a horrible answer. Listen,
It's just-
I'm going to let Dan answer in a second. Let's just be clear. That's
Inexcusable.
one of the 5 dumbest things I've ever heard a human being say
Thank
in
you.
my entire life, in any context. It doesn't even have to be sports. If I own the team and I hear the coach say that after the game, I have serious conversations amongst people about whether he is qualified to be the head coach of a National Football League team. If he says those 15 yards didn't matter, those 15 yards cost you the game every bit as much as the Hail Mary play at the very end.
Yeah, the Bears lost the game because of coaching and the way that they coached that final sequence.
So they're talking about the final sequence there. I think the greatest thing is Damian Woody is just beside himself moving around. Rex Ryan is obviously, I love Rex Ryan, by the way. He is just so colorful, energetic, enthusiastic. But for the Bears, guys, I'd even take it further than this. This wasn't even the final 2 plays. The whole game offensively was a train wreck. And now, okay, here you go, Brad. Caleb Williams in the offense had 33 passing yards in the first 3 quarters, which was a homecoming for Caleb coming back to Maryland, where he went to Gonzaga. And so that was tough.
Yeah.
Tough go. But you know what's tough, guys? DeAndre Swift had a pretty good game. Very good game. 100+ yards again, if I'm not mistaken. Anyone have him in fantasy? No?
Oh, I have him in one league. Actually, yeah.
He had a great game. Then Roskin Johnson's turned into like a solid goal line back. You would think between one of those 2 guys at the goal line, you might give it to him. Let's talk about the plays that happened here.
The Hebrew flus, it just kind of popped in my mind. It just kind of reminded me of that Billy Madison moment.
Oh, I award you no points. That's exactly yes.
What do you have just said is the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. At no point was your rambling, incoherent response were you ever anything close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Yeah, and I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. That's how the quote finishes there in Billy Madison. That's a free one for you, Kevin. Billy Madison.
Billy Madison.
Who's the actor that plays Billy Madison?
Oh, come on.
Tom Cruise.
Like you can't.
We
You gotta be.
I've never seen Billy Madison.
You're making this up.
Have you seen Happy Gilmore?
Yes.
Do you know who
Adam
plays
Sandler.
Happy? Okay.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not that uncultured, guys. Come
Well,
on.
What? Shut the fuck up.
Billy
Kevin.
Madison's up
Just-
there.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, I digress. Back to this point. So on 1st and goal, they decided to do a one-on-one lob to DJ Moore, which Caleb threw a ball to the moon. I don't know if you guys watched that ball.
That was not.
That was a one-on-one ball that literally was to the moon out of bounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Next play is, all right, we got these 2 running backs. They're grinding. And you decide, hey, let's go heavy. And we're going to give the ball to our backup offensive lineman to take us to the promised land here against the Commanders, and he fumbles. That offense was bad for 3 quarters. And Brad, to your point, they had success. Caleb did, but when they had success, it was against the Jaguars. It was against the Carolina Panthers.
I was just about to say, every team that Caleb Williams and the Bears have beaten all had 1 win on the season. They all still have 1 win on the season. Those are the teams they've beaten. And then we talked about this yesterday. I talked about this yesterday. Bears have yet to have really beaten anybody worth a shit. And that still remains the case as of today.
Oh, woof. You know, they say whoop, there it is. It's woof, there it is.
Yeah.
And you know what? The Bears actually, they are undefeated at home, even though one of the games was overseas in London, but they haven't won a true road game yet this year. I would still argue playing over in London's a road game, but according to the records, they have not won a game away from being the home team for the Chicago Bears. But if they want to make the playoffs, this was their chance right here as far as proving that they can hit. They have they have a defense that can win.
To me, too, like imagine Justin Herbert having a receiving core that the Bears have right now, or any top 5 quarterback for that matter. Lamar Jackson has, that receiving core. The pass attack would be absolutely insane. It's got to be super frustrating for Bears fans.
Oh, I mean, look, you feel like your team's turning the corner. You feel like this defense is a playoff defense. That defense is made to be able to play in the postseason.
They're going to be in the basement in the division, though.
Well, because the division's so damn good.
That's what I'm saying.
And the Packers are finding ways. Malik Willis enters the game, and they get a 10-point lead, and some people had him at 3.5.
Matt LaFleur is just an incredible coach.
Coaching matters. And as much as people do get frustrated in Baltimore with Harbaugh in the group, and I could say that, the Ravens have still been one of the most winningest franchises over the last 2 decades, right? Not saying that there aren't things that can be worked out. That's a fact. Look at Chicago. I think it's just a good example. Look at Chicago. Actually, let's take it a further step here. Look at the Jets.
Yes.
Ooh, rough.
Jets, Jets. How about that segue for you? It has gotten to a point that the question's being asked, is this the most embarrassing season that the Jets have had to date, given the context of what they were supposed to do going into this year? You have Aaron Rodgers back healthy. You have a young, talented core on defense and young, talented specialists on offense in guys like Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. And all of a sudden, you lose to the Patriots on the road, who lost their rookie quarterback in the second quarter. And now they have the same record as the New England Patriots. But don't take our word for it, because we're not Jets fans. But Brad, why don't we play first the clip of Mike Greenberg? Do we have that clip in here? I don't know if we do or not.
No.
If we don't, why don't we play the clip who loves seeing the Jets fail? He will never say, hey, actually he does say it pretty clearly.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick kind of held nothing back again on what's been going wrong with the Jets. I got it.
This is actively losing their minds.
Crumbling.
I mean, it is loud. Mike Greenberg did a 2-minute monologue this morning about how this is the biggest failure that the Jets have ever had.
History of sports.
History of sports, yeah. And definitely the lowest of lows for a Jets fan in the history of ball. Bro, in the history of ball. He said this is the worst because of the expectations and the hopes. If you're that team right now, what do you think is the message, or what do you think is the mindset? Because like Shefty said, they've pulled every lever. They've tried. They've pulled every single lever, and it's just not working. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other levers they could have pulled over the last, 25, 30 years that could have them in a different situation. But what do you think the message is from Ulbrich to that team?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it starts at the top, and so as you said, Woody started pulling the levers, got rid of, fired Salah, which I mean, I don't understand that. I thought that he's done a great job there with the defense and made the defensive coordinator the head coach. So I'm not really sure what that did. Changed some play calling, brought in Devontae, got Reddick back. I don't know. It seems like a lot of moves here by Woody that I'm not sure. I don't really understand how they add up. But I'd say it's more a question for him to answer than me. I think from the outside, it's maybe hard to understand why they would do some of the things they did. So I think you have to ask the guy who did them.
Yeah, Jets fans are wondering the same exact thing you are, Coach.
So Belichick's going, hey, it starts up top. And really, it does start up top with the organization. But guys, the Jets are not good. They're not good. And if I'm a fan of the team, I feel bad for him. And that's why if I'm able to pull up the clip of Mike Greenberg, who's been a fan for years, he was the one that was saying, Brad.
Yeah.
And I quote of saying, this is the most embarrassed he's been as a Jets fan because it was the year where they went all in and he agreed that they should go all in. You have the team to go all in. And now people are talking about this is going to be a part of Aaron Rodgers' journey of this. Like, this is going to be on the record of, hey, Aaron's one of the greatest players that ever played, but man, do you remember that situation in New York? And Kev, I don't think it's necessarily, hey, the season's got a long way to go here, but this was a game. If the Jets were going to get back into this thing, it wasn't like, oh, we can survive. They had to have this one. It was a must-have.
Yeah, it was.
And now all of a sudden, it's over.
Yeah,
just like that.
And I don't really. If you can't beat the Patriots that lose Drake May and, you go and you get this shiny new guy in Devontae Adams and, you're figuring everything out. Well, look, we're 8 games into the season. You're 2-6. It'd take a miracle for this team to, bounce back and even make the wild card at this point. You gave up draft capital for Devontae Adams. Who knows if Aaron Rodgers is going to be there after this season? It seems like who's actually making the decisions. We don't know. We don't know who's on board with what. We don't know who's not told about what. It's so much dysfunction there. And on top of all of it, the Hassan Reddick situation went on for months, and now that's finally just solved. It's just been dysfunction really ever since the season ended last year. And people were saying, okay, well, they didn't have a quarterback last year. Aaron Rodgers is going to come in and magically fix this team. And lo and behold, Aaron Rodgers is not, he's not the Aaron Rodgers of Green Bay.
So here's what I'll say to this, and I'm glad you brought that up, Kevin, because Mike Greenberg, we'll get to that clip in a second, but why are we so shocked about the level of play of Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
Why are we shocked about this? I think Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers knew exactly what they were doing when they drafted Jordan Love, and I think they knew exactly what they were doing when they traded him away to the Jets. Why? Because his last season with the Packers was not good. And then he tears his Achilles the very next season. Then he comes in, and we're all shocked that his level of play isn't what we thought it would be. His last season, he had a passer rating of 91.1, which is one of the lowest of his career. He also threw 12 interceptions in 2022. Aaron Rodgers, I don't want to. This isn't the takeaway from his entire career because he's one of the best quarterbacks that ever lived, but he is not the same Aaron Rodgers, and he never will be from this point on.
Yeah.
Isn't there a stat? Maybe one of you guys have it. We'll play the clip here in a second. Or actually, while we look it up, Zach, there's a stat out there of the last time Aaron's thrown for more than 300 yards in a game. It's out there somewhere. But why don't we play that clip? We're talking about fans being overreacting on Mondays, right? Emotions. Well, here's Mike Greenberg, Brad. If you can play that for us of his reaction to how he feels about the Jets season.
Jets of 2024 are one of the colossal failures in sports history. When we talk about the true failure teams, people always go back to the 2011 Philadelphia Eagles who called themselves the Dream Team, who, by the way, finished 8-8. This team isn't going to finish anywhere near 8-8. This is a team that went as all in as any team ever has. And I can't say I thought it was the wrong thing to do. As it was happening, I thought it was the right thing to do. So I guess I'm as guilty of this as anybody else. But when you consider the future Hall of Fame quarterback and the trade they make for his longtime best friend and all these young players they have on the roster, and they fire the coach because it's going to make them better and it only makes them worse, and everything else, all the words that have been said, all the words that have been written, all the actions that have been taken, all the hype and all the belief that has existed, and what the actual results have been, the Jets of 2024 are one of the greatest, most colossal and embarrassing failures in sports history. And that sticks to all of them. So when people say, does this stick to Rodgers? Yes. It doesn't mean he's not an all-time great. It doesn't mean he's not a Hall of Famer. But it most certainly goes in the permanent record. It goes in the bio. The New York Jets turned over their entire franchise to him, and it got much, much worse. Like embarrassingly worse. What they're doing is embarrassing to watch. I've been following this team 50 years. I've never been as embarrassed to say that I'm a fan or to say that I believed in them as I have been this season and yesterday in particular, with absolutely everything on the line against a team that for all intents and purposes is tanking and lost their quarterback in the second quarter. For the Jets to lose that game and look as uninspired as they did might genuinely be a new low for a franchise that has hit a lot of lows. So that is the legacy of this group, whatever happens from here. This is one of the colossal failures that we've ever seen in sports.
So right there, he's saying colossal failures. And especially if you're a Jets fan, I mean, look, this is the most hope you've had in since Rex Ryan was the head coach, right?
Yeah.
And in general there, that's saying something where they've had one winning season in the last 14 years. Right. And then do you have that stat, Zach, about Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah. So the last time that Aaron Rodgers surpassed the 300-yard mark came in week 14 of the 2021 season.
Damn.
So it is over 25 games at this point where he has played and he has yet to throw for 300 yards. Of course, it was against the Bears. He owns the Bears. We know. So, yeah, the last time Aaron Rodgers threw for 300 yards is we're coming up on potentially 3 years. We are 5 weeks away from being 3 years. So,
and here's one more thing to close it out. Look, and it's a different circumstances. I think the Packers are run extremely well.
Yes.
I always love watching Aaron Rodgers make throws. He's made some freaking dots this year too, man. Like he still has the arm talent, but the results aren't there. Whether the offensive line play has been subpar, whether it's penalties, whether it's just lack of execution, the results aren't there. And for a Jets team right now through the season, they have failed to eclipse 24 points this year. So when you're talking about the weapons that they've had, they have failed to eclipse 24 points this year.
Well, and so I think that one of the biggest things for the Jets this year, especially with fans, the mindset was, well, their defense is going to step up in a way that the Broncos did the same year that Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl, right? That was where the standard was. And Rex Ryan actually went on Get Up as well and talked about how he thinks the Jets defense is actually overrated.
Can I say like this darkness thing?
Yeah.
Maybe we ought to turn the damn lights on. I don't know. Maybe we ought to turn the damn lights on. And when you do, you're going to see yourself. Like, I'm pissed at myself for actually every week I defend this team thinking, no, the talent. They're
I'm mad
finally
for believing in them.
No, yeah, exactly. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? I'm tired of pulling punches. This team is horribly coached. Absolutely horribly coached. This offense is a joke. D. Wood and I talked about their run game. I go, D. Wood, I don't know who the hell's involved in this run game. They don't know how to block inside zone or outside zone, which is two basic things that people can do in Pop Warner. But because, you know what? It ain't just stepping in and we go here. No, it's not. It's knowing who the hell, which linebacker we're pointing to. They don't have any of that. They don't know how to double team blocks. These guys are veteran offensive linemen forever. Their technique is awful. They will not block a damn soul on the perimeter. All right? And on defense, that's elite defense. Like some of my this defense is so damn overrated. Let's talk about how brilliant this damn defense is. All right, because I want to give you the last two drives. By the way, that quarterback I played against him, we could have played for a month and him not score. All right, so the last two drives. All right, 14 plays, 61 yards, and a field goal.
Right.
Good for you, man. You kept him out of that damn end zone. Good for you, Grinny. Next time, 12 plays. Game's on the line. Just got to keep on it.
Season's on the line.
70 yards. 70 yards for this elite defense. And the great thing is, I'm watching. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. We're going to lose to this team? We're going to lose to this sorry team? Yeah. Maybe, I mean, this is ridiculous. We got another damn primetime game coming on. You don't deserve to be on any damn TV. I'm so pissed at this that they got me. I believed in it. I absolutely believed in the talent of this football team, but they are so poorly coached. There is no damn team. Forget it. I'm done. I'm done.
He's done. He's done. But you know what? Like, Rex is firing. I love Rex, man. Like, I do. But he's not wrong in the sense that this team, in all facets, if you're going to say it's coaching, you're saying it's schemes, the players got to go out and play better. Reality is, it is so dysfunctional. You want to talk about dysfunction? It's the New York Jets right now.
Yeah.
They fired their coach after losing a one-score game in Minnesota, where that's one of the best teams in the league, and you said, hey, he's gone.
Yep.
We're done with him.
Yep.
Because they thought he was the issue. And then you come back and you think you're going to play inspired football, and you have a 15-6 lead against Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. Everything going right in that first half?
Well, that game, and actually, let's take it back a step. They had Buffalo at home, where you had missed field goals, missed opportunities in the red zone. Then you go to Pittsburgh. You trade for Devontae Adams. You have a 15-6 lead in Pittsburgh, and then they score 31 unanswered, and you lose. And then in this case, you go to New England, a team that has no pulse right now, just got boat raced by the Jaguars, and you can't win that game. I mean, it is an absolute mess. I think Rex is right.
I think Rex is right too, and in fact, I think that someone had asked him if he should be the coach of the Jets. He talked about it in on Get Up about how there is zero coaching. And so Rex actually went on to a local radio show. I said, what's it, the DiPietro and Rothenberg? I just want to give them credit there, but was asked if he would want to coach the Jets again. And actually, I think it was last week. So
got that call. Would you answer it? Would you consider being the head coach of this team?
Oh, I'd do it in a second. I'd do it in a second because I am a New York Jet. And I absolutely would. But I'm not here to politic and it seems like it because I tell the damn truth. And I speak as a fan of this football team in this community. That's why it makes sense. So yeah, we'll see. I hope I get an opportunity to interview for it. That's absolutely a given. I hope I get that opportunity.
And look, open invitation to bring him in. And I think Rex Ryan should do. Look, Rex Ryan was an incredible coach for the Jets.
God, it's the last time they had success.
Bring me Rex Ryan. Hey,
show of hands. Who wants to see Rex Ryan do some press conference again?
Oh, my God.
Who wants to see him tell a team to go get a goddamn snack?
Yeah,
I do.
Oh yeah.
I certainly
Baltimore.
do.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we wanted
Yeah.
to be.
I mean, the good news for the Jets is if they just, sign Randall Cobb, I think it solves all their issues. You just have to maybe Jordy Nelson, something to
Donald
bring it back.
Driver, let's go.
Yeah, I mean,
bring back
Donald Driver can't put the team on his back.
Bring back
No, Greg Jennings.
Greg
Sorry.
Jennings,
We'll bring
Greg
him back too.
Jennings.
Yeah.
Greg Jennings.
But it is
AJ Hawk.
Yeah. But
Oh.
it's one of those things where, I say that as a joke, but it does feel like this team, all of their, our big fixes, they're just bringing in Aaron Rodgers' friends.
That's how we got to the Jets in the first place. It was bring me Randall Cobb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like this is big. This is not, I know Bill Belichick is going to talk about Woody being Woody. And I think that he's enabling Aaron Rodgers to make these not decisions, but influence these decisions. But it feels like every week we have a new reason for, why the Jets are back, why the Jets are going to turn around. Oh, Aaron Rodgers is getting it together. Offense looks a little better. It's week 2 with Devontae Adams. Oh, it's first week with Devontae Adams. Whatever it is, every week it's, this team, they're so close to putting it together. The defense is good, we promise. I think we're at the point where, just matter of fact, the Jets aren't good at football.
No.
This team, you see them, it's basic things that they're getting beat at that you're like, how is this a football team in the National Football League with all this talent? They were a quote-unquote quarterback away last year, and sadly, it looks like they regressed from Zach Wilson.
That was the ironic thing is right now they were a better team last year than they were with Zach Wilson at the helm than they are right now.
Had a better record.
It's a culture situation, and that's what Bill Belichick was talking about. He thought the culture that Saleh had set was really good. He thinks he's a great football mind, but then there still was dysfunction in that group. There was a scapegoat. He was the scapegoat. They had more issues. I'm not saying that Robert Saleh is a great head coach, by the way. I'm not going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't deserve the fate that he did, and it's higher up. And that's why when you're looking at organizations, Ravens might have issues right now in the past defensive game.
Yeah.
But their track record is they're going to keep battling, and they're going to give you a chance to go win a championship. The Jets have zero chance. And to close out their schedule, and we're going to move on to a different subject here. And Nick Moore, we had to push him back a few minutes. He's got some family things he's taking care of, so he'll join us at 4:15. But they got to play Houston on Thursday night. They just lost Stephon Diggs for the year. It's a big loss.
Mm-hmm.
Is that confirmed? Do we know?
Potentially.
It's very.
Let's just say
I have him in fantasy, so I'm like, oh man.
Well, let's put it this way: Stephon Diggs is not playing this Thursday.
Yeah. Well,
or maybe.
Well, so according
rest.
to Adam Schefter, it's about with 90% certainty that it's an ACL tear.
Man, that's tough.
And if that's the case, that's another weapon down. And Nico Collins is still 1 week away.
Please.
I think so.
He's 1 week away. So Texans are going to be
from being
down.
1 week away from being eligible to return.
Yes. And so again, Texans are banged up. And so that's why you got Houston on Thursday on Halloween. Then you go to Arizona, that's playing surprising ball. Colts, Seahawks, at Dolphins, against the Rams, who look good. At Buffalo, play the Dolphins again. You got the Jaguars mixed in. You don't have much room for error, and there's some good teams on that schedule here. So we'll see what happens there. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. It's the Ryan Ripken Show. We're reacting. We're feeling good. We're
feeling good was a little stretch.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
hey, you know what? You got to fake it till you make it here. But we do this live every Monday and Thursday and Sundays on Ravens pregame. We like to talk a lot of football. We are Maryland-based here, so we've been talking Ravens, Commanders. We will get into more of the other sports, obviously, when baseball's rolling around. We'll touch in on our Terps. Unfortunately, bad weekend for the Terps for football.
They beat USC. It's okay.
But I think on Monday, it's still the reactions. And one of the most puzzling decisions, I think, of this past Sunday happened in that Colts-Texans game. Anthony Richardson came out of the game and then kept himself out of the game. And you would have thought, okay, is it an injury or something that happened? And that's why, look, players will tell you play injured, they respect you, but if you can't go, they understand. But listen to Anthony Richardson's reason of why he sat out when he didn't. When he took himself out of the game. So can we play that clip of Anthony Richardson?
I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there, what I did, and I don't think I was gonna be able to go that next play. So I just, just told Sam I just needed a break right there.
So what he's talking about is he was running around a lot, and he has the running ability.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time, guys, I've ever heard a quarterback, and this is, again, like you call a timeout if your quarterback's tired or something. He sat out multiple plays.
Mm-hmm. We were confused.
A lot of people were confused. Pat McAfee sent out a tweet about it. Chuck Pagano was asked about with Andrew Luck, right, Brad? What was the tweet from Chuck Pagano?
Hold on, I gotta find it. It was hilarious. He so there was I guess like maybe a fan or something that asked him if he'd ever had a quarterback tap out of a game. And he basically said, "Fuck no." it's never happened. Actually, he did say that.
He
So,
actually legitimately said
that is a direct quote from Chuck Pagano, as you guys might know, former coach of Andrew Luck.
Yeah, and
So-
and the Colts. That was the specific of being that of
Correct.
the Colts. And look, Anthony Richardson, I understand his logic of saying I want to give the team the best chance. There is what he's trying to allude to.
There's nothing to
But
understand.
when you're the quarterback of the team and you're conditioned to be the quarterback of the team for every play that you are healthy, doesn't matter the circumstance. And actually, Pat McAfee had Bill Belichick on, and there was a conversation about Tom Brady in this case here. And Tom's not the fleetest of foot, but just listen to what Bill has to say about this situation.
The quarterback tap out whenever he was healthy. And what do you, Coach? We started for the first 20 minutes talking about this because this is something that obviously as a Colts fan, whenever you're watching AR play football, there's moments of magic like this right there. Ooh, that's a moment of magic. In an AFC South, to take the lead in the division game, massive game down there in Houston, every single year it counts. After a huge run to get back to the gain of 0, obviously, shedding a guy, tapping out. That's a quarterback doing that. And he would come out after the game and say it was because he was tired. So, piling on this entire thing about never seen that before. Okay. What do you think of the quarterback position, though? And why do you think we all think it's such a big deal that a quarterback decided to do that? What is the role of a quarterback whenever they're representing a team? Because for me, the reason why I'm reacting the way I am, D-Bud is reacting the way he is, everybody on TV, it's like quarterback doesn't tap out. Like that is just not how it goes, especially if it's because you're just tired. It's week 8. You're 22 years old. Let's not be tired either. But it's like, what do you think the role of a quarterback is? And why do you think everybody is so dumbfounded by this particular happening, Coach?
Well, I think on some teams, and I haven't been a part of too many of these teams, but I have had this conversation with quarterbacks. A lot of times, and as you know, Pat and AJ, as you know, like the quarterbacks don't always do everything that everybody else does, right? They don't necessarily do all the lifting or squatting or conditioning or things like that. And so I've seen situations where quarterbacks, after running around for, 2 or 3 plays, in a row, getting chased around on scrambles and things like that, that they are a little winded. And you look back on it and say, well, they weren't doing the sprints with the rest of the team. Maybe they were throwing to the receivers, or they didn't lift with the rest of the team, because they don't lift, and that type of thing. And sometimes with the specialists, Pat, you've probably seen that too with some of the specialists.
Hell yeah.
But I know with guys like Brady and Burt Jones and Testaverde and some of those guys like that I've coached, those guys, and look, I'll say this about Bernie Kosar. Bernie Kosar was slow, okay? But Bernie Kosar never failed a conditioning test. And that was about work. It wasn't about speed. It was about work. And he always passed it. Brady always passed it. Brady's not fast either, but he worked. Testaverde worked. Matt Castle worked. Like, those guys really worked hard, and they were about as good as they could be. And so conditioning was never an issue with those guys because they ran the hill after practice with everybody else. They lifted with everybody else. Same thing with the specialists. Same thing with, the other skill players like that. And so I do think that there's a mentality about the quarterbacks that, you need to be maybe not the best conditioned player on the team, but, honestly, you should be in really good condition as a quarterback, just as a leader.
So that's where people are diving into this, right? It isn't like a wide receiver in this case where guys been running routes or running backs been getting carry after carry where you go, hey, I need a breather. Quarterback's expected to lead this team on the field at every single point.
Yes.
Right. And that's where it's looking at here. And especially for a guy like Anthony Richardson, that's a young face of the franchise, hasn't played a lot, and he's going through growing pains. It just can send the wrong message. And actually, Shane Steichen was asked about it. The veteran Colts center Ryan Kelly talked about it in the quote from Ryan Kelly saying we had a conversation about it, and I think he knows that's not the standard he needs to play up to. I know he's going to take some criticism for that, and rightfully so. It's not a good look. Now, they expressed confidence in him here, guys, and that's the right thing that they went about it. But you can tell the talking point is game's on the line for you guys in cases, and they want to feel like you're dependable. That was a tough moment.
It's 3rd and goal, by the way.
And that's the point. It's a do or die situation. You need your guy out there. And in a game also, guys, to add, not trying to pile on here, because I want to see him do well. I do. I everything I've heard about him, handles himself really well.
Yeah.
Tremendous athlete, has all the talent. Now, again, you can have all the talent in the world. You got to put it together. He hasn't been putting it together. Yesterday, he was 10 of 32.
Yeah.
At one point, he was 2 for 15.
Yeah.
What do you got, Brad?
Here's what I'll say to this too, and we talked about this before yesterday's game, that I felt as if Joe Flacco should be the starter for the rest of the season, and all Anthony Richards did to me yesterday was just prove to me as to why. We've talked about it at nauseum that Anthony Richardson needs development, and that before going into this season, I think he only started about 17, 18 games his entire career since high school.
Yeah.
So like he just needs time to develop. And this isn't me like bashing Anthony Richardson, because he does have a ton of talent and has the potential to be really good. But if he sat for an entire year and actually learned behind somebody like Joe Flacco, who is clearly the better quarterback on that team and should be starting the rest of the season, I think he could be set up to be set up for at least a better outcome next season, and in a similar fashion of like a Jordan Love. I don't think Jordan Love would have gone out there straight out of being drafted and had the success that he has right now had he not been sitting behind a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think you nailed it there. It's the fact that the question with Anthony Richardson has never been, does he have the talent?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at him, he can throw it 100 yards in the air, it feels. He's got one of the strongest arms guys. He's an athletic freak. He's built like Cam Newton. He's fast as could be. On paper, the raw ability of Anthony Richardson is the most intriguing aspect. Coming out of college, I thought he should be the number one. He was my favorite quarterback last year.
Yeah.
Coming out of college. Was that meaning that he was going to be the best day one? Absolutely not. I think he is, like you said, it's a Jordan Love situation. Jordan Love would not be doing well if he came out and started game one for the Packers back then. I think we all agree, and we've talked about this a bunch, is yes, not only do I think it would be most beneficial for Anthony Richardson, this Colts team has talent. This Colts team is pretty good if you put it all together, especially if the defense continues to improve. They have the weapons. We think, and I think we all agree, that for the Colts to have the best chance to win, Joe Flacco should be the starting quarterback. And I know we're going to get into this, but Adam Schefter, right before we went on, I'm going to bring up the tweet right now. So head coach Shane Steichen was asked on whether quarterback Anthony Richardson will start Sunday night in Minnesota. And he said, we're evaluating everything. So not a clear answer on who's going to start there, but looks like they are, I guess, evaluating everything.
This is the problem here, where you're looking at development, Kev, right? And I'll go to you right in a second. Development of your franchise quarterback. And by the way, people were ready to write off Jordan Love even after that spot start he had against Kansas City during COVID. You remember that game?
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, man, this guy's not ready. It's like, well, that was his first game he had to go, and you're going against the Chiefs in Kansas City on a short notice because of everything that happened with Aaron Rodgers and the whole COVID situation, right? Like, and then he turned out pretty well. You can sit and let a guy figure some things out. And here's the other part here for the Colts. They win that game against Houston. They have the exact same record as the Texans. And the Texans were going to win. The Texans are favored to win that division. If the Colts had won that game in Houston, they both would be sitting at 5-3. The Colts are 4-4.
Yeah.
And that's the decision that you're going to have to make, is what's the best way you can develop your young quarterback. But the job in the NFL is, at least in this case, this isn't like the Carolina Panthers where they're not going anywhere. The Colts can compete right now. And to me, they are a playoff caliber team, Kevin.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone's calling for a guy like Joe Flacco.
Yeah, and it should be, because this Colts team can definitely make a run at a playoff spot with Joe Flacco. But this, going back to Anthony Richardson, is essentially the conversation that we've all had before about the treatment of rookie and just younger quarterbacks in general compared to what it was, where teams just want to throw these guys out there instead of giving them the proper development. Where with Anthony Richardson, we talked about it. We mentioned the stats about him not starting a ton in high school and college. And he was clearly a project player who had all the talent in the world. They put him out there. He gets injured. He misses the year. He comes back. They put him out there again. He didn't gain a lot of experience last season. Even if you wanted to argue that he'd get a full year of experience last season, the common thing we're seeing is if you are not NFL ready, you're still going to get thrown out there if you're a high draft pick. And if you fail, you're going to go to a different team after 2 or 3 years. That's just the cycle of what young quarterbacks who aren't ready to play is these days. And it's not fair to them. But in this situation, I mean, you heard, Ryan, you said what Ryan Kelly had to say and Shane Steichen. It just sends the wrong message because, not only are you the leader of the team as the quarterback, but your teammates are out there fighting like hell to get a win. And you're just tapping out saying, I'm too tired to play this series. I need a break. So is everybody else. Everybody else is tired and they're not tapping their helmet to come out of the game. And you as the leader of that team, I mean, you have to be more aware. I think that he understands it. The team understands the situation, but yeah, just look, you hear this all the time. Batman wouldn't have been able to get that information out of me. I'm not saying I'm tired.
Yeah,
I'm making up something.
Right. Just a lie. I got the shits, guys. Like, something.
Literally.
I got
something.
Calf cramp.
Yeah,
we're not to come out for a play.
And you know what? And that's what I'm saying. He's a good kid. Is like he told the truth. He was being honest. Like he's a good dude. Having said that, that'd be a good time to be like, you know what? Like Lamar. Like, hey, you had to go into the locker room, take a shit. You know what? I shit myself there for a second. Right. Would have sounded better. But one more context thing for AR-15, right? Anthony Richardson, he missed a couple games, right? So far this season, not mistaken. He missed that. He got knocked out of the Steelers game.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco started against the Jaguars, and then Joe Flacco started the game against the Titans. So 2.5, almost 3 full games, almost, right?
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson right now is tied for the 3rd most interceptions in the NFL. So it's Jordan Love actually has 9. Patrick Mahomes is up there. Baker Mayfield, Gardner Minshew, Dak Prescott, but then he has 7 interceptions and he's missed almost 3 games. So it's just the context to it. You're hoping for him, but a team like the Colts, where they almost went to the playoffs last year and won the division with Gardner Minshew.
Right.
Joe Flacco is ready. And you know what? Joe Flacco is playing his best ball since he was a Baltimore Raven, man. Like since he won the Super Bowl, it's like he's found the fountain of youth again. He might be better than Flacco in Baltimore. Yeah, that's a stretch. But it's somewhere between playoff Joe and regular season Joe with Baltimore. There's something there.
I think Joe really felt what happened to him with Lamar in 2018, and he said, I'm just coming for every young quarterback's job. I'm coming. When I sign with the team, you better watch your back because I'm coming for that job. Because
honestly,
I know
though, like he's actually come out and quoted and just like, I'm just out there having fun now.
Yeah,
I think
it's been really cool.
There's just no pressure. So I think that's why he's doing so well because he's just like, well, screw it. I'm just going to sling it around and see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I do know, I don't know a lot, but I do know one athlete who doesn't matter how many times he has to sprint down the field, would never come out because he was tired. I think he's waiting behind the stage.
Yeah. future Pro Bowl long snapper for the Baltimore
Doesn't matter
Ravens.
how many times he will. That musket will run down that field any day of the week.
That musket's going to get pumped in there. He might begin dry humped in preseason games, and no matter what's happening, but you know what? He'll get up or he'll throw his helmet after until the play is over. And let's bring on our friend of the show, Baltimore Raven here, Nick Moore. Nick.
Oh.
Hey, buddy.
Wow, I'm feeling intimidated right now.
You should.
Hi, Nick. Nicholas, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys doing today?
That was a compliment, though. We're saying you never give up, never give in.
It's, when you play 7 plays a game, it's really hard. Sometimes you want to give up, but you got to keep pushing through.
Hey,
sometimes penalties, you have to run back-to-back plays,
Hey, twice in my career, and both my fault.
Jeez.
Well, way to bring up a
technically we've done it 4 times in my career, and they've all 4 been my fault. So we did 2 field goals, 1 in 2021 and 1 in 2022, both against the Steelers, and then 2 punts.
Field goal.
No, but 2 plays in a row, man. You never know.
Well, and then there was the Cowboys game this year.
Yeah, that's number 4.
Yeah.
But
way to remind me.
That was a missed call by the refs there in itself.
Everyone knows it.
Yeah. Terrible call.
Hey, I didn't say it. You guys said it.
Yes.
Hey, you did not.
We'll take the fine.
We'll take the fine.
Yeah, hey, refs are great. Okay.
They always get the call right. That's all. Always. At least in their mind, they always get the call right. So, hey, Nick. Hey.
Hey. Hi. How's it going?
So, yesterday was Fun. That's probably
It was
not
so
the word
fun.
to describe yesterday. Yesterday was not fun. In one way, how would you kind of describe yesterday's game with the Brownies up in Cleveland?
You know, I think the best word I can come up with right now, and I don't even know if it makes sense, but lackluster. We just
I like that.
From the start, we just we didn't play our best game, and we didn't have everything going yesterday, and we were, whether we were off on execution or we were expecting a different team to come out on the other side, we just didn't play our best game. So we're moving on to Denver.
I mean, you got to, right? You got to move on to Denver. I think lackluster is a good way. We quoted Borat earlier. Sometimes it's maybe good. Sometimes it's maybe shit.
Maybe shit.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a little bit of maybe shit because it felt like it was kind of like one thing after another, right? Like, we dropped an interception here. Oh man, a penalty negates a play here. We talked earlier, you and I on the phone, like, I felt so bad for Kyle Hamilton of all the guys having a play they could have had. Like, the dude balled out. It was just an unfortunate circumstance. And then, of course, how the football gods are. Next play, touchdown, right? Like, that's how it all is. I think one thing I do notice, Nick, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like there's a little bit of frustration defensively because this is a group that's got some really good players, man. Like, these are some dogs on the defensive side. But for whatever the reasons are, they feel like they even understand. Like, I've heard Van Noy talk about it. I've heard other veterans talk about, like, we know we can do better. Is that kind of the sense? Like, they're like, man, it's frustrating because we know how good we can be.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. We were out Marlon Humphreys this week. We made a switch from Marcus Williams in the secondary. So we're basically two new guys in the secondary, even though they've played a lot of games and played a lot of football for us. Gelling as a group, being every down guys, we were definitely not executing at the level that we know we can execute at and that kind of we expect ourselves to execute at.
Mm-hmm.
And, anytime you do that, the Browns had a new quarterback. They had a little bit of energy, after losing 5 in a row. And obviously it showed yesterday. We didn't play our best, whether that was, lack of physicality, lack of execution, under communication. There's a lot of things that I think everyone on our team knows that we're better than and knows that we can do better. And quite frankly, we will do better going forward. We were riding high on a 5-game win streak. And maybe this was, unfortunately, the reality check that we needed, because anytime you play an AFC North game, it doesn't matter if you're 17-0 or 0-17. It's going to be a bloodbath every single time. And, credit to the Browns. They came out on defense. They were playing physical. On offense, we weren't getting to the quarterback. The offensive line for the Browns is the highest paid offensive line in the league. And they showed it yesterday. They kept some of our best, some of the best pass rushers in the game with Matabike and Van Noy and Adafe. They kept him off Jameis, and good for them because, he was able to sit back in the pocket. And, it's really hard as a defensive back to, cover a guy for 5, 6, 7 seconds down the field. And eventually someone's going to get open. And that's kind of what happened yesterday. It was like they were getting these extended plays and we weren't able to get to the quarterback, and they were finding, Jameis was finding the open receiver, and it was working well for them yesterday. So, I think for us, the best thing we can do is put it in our rear view. We're going to see these guys again in January, last game of the season. So we'll mark that on our calendar. But as of now, we're still in a really good position at 5-3. We have a big game this week against Denver, and then we got a short week against Cincinnati. So we got 2 games coming up in the next 10 days. So we have a lot on our plate. So I don't think we have as much time to dwell on this game that maybe some guys want. And then we'll get our chance at Cleveland again at home in January.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is the game that you lose with a chance to win it at the final play, right? If this wasn't like it was a ass beating, I think that's probably the part for you guys. You're like, damn, we felt like we could have won this game, but lackluster, you could say we just didn't execute it well, and that's just how it goes, right? Like, it's any sport. You don't execute well enough, You don't put
Yeah.
away plays that you can do.
Well,
that's-
I think you can relate to this, Ryan, in baseball. When you give when a guy hits a foul ball, that's a catchable ball, and you don't make the play, you drop the foul ball or whatever. A good bit of the time they're going to come up the very next pitch and they're going to do some damage. And unfortunately for us, we had missed opportunity after missed opportunity on with drop passes on both offense and defense. We missed a field goal on in the fourth quarter. We had a really good kickoff return that got called back for holding. We were just shooting ourselves in the foot, basically the entire game. And for us to still have a chance at the end of the game to win, I think it speaks to the talent that we have and the things that we're capable of. It's just a matter of putting an entire game together, playing 4 quarters. I think, executing at the highest level. We talk all the time about Ravens football and penalties and drop passes and missed field goals and, missed opportunities on defense. That's not our brand of football, and we know that. And I think, we'll be back to work tomorrow and getting ready for the next one and trying to get rid of those mistakes and minimizing them as much as we can.
Go back to school, man. Back to work or back to school. Back to school to
been
prove that Nick Moore is not a fool.
Look. We had a tough day yesterday in the kicking game.
Timeout. I'll get back to that. Do you know that quote I was trying to do? Back to school. Back to school.
Is that Billy Madison?
There we go.
We've been on a Billy Madison kick.
We have been on a big Billy Madison.
That's a great flick. That Veronica Vaughn. That's a great flick.
Veronica Vaughn. Kevin, you know who Veronica is?
No.
He hasn't seen Billy Madison.
Wow. That's disgraceful.
Yeah. I know you were upset. You said with yourself yesterday, just with teams in general. So I didn't mean to cut you off there. This is the time to be like, hey, Nick, that was fucking terrible. That's not what we're doing.
No, I'll be honest. My first punt snap was fucking awful. So,
But what I love about that, Nick, is like your attention to detail. I know you're going to get right back to work. You know what I mean?
I don't have a choice. We had, we had a series of unfortunate events yesterday in the kicking game. So I don't know if you guys know this, but we have in an NFL game, you get 3 kicking balls. And basically what happens is we have 2 guys that are designated to be our ball breaker inners, if you will. And they get 1 hour before the game. They open the ball out of the box and they get 1 hour to break in these 3 balls. So we have one guy who's like our main guy. He breaks in ball 1, or on the road it's ball 2 and ball 6. Evens on the road, odds at home. Okay. So he breaks in balls 2 and 6 on the road. And then we have our number 2 guy. He breaks in ball 4 for the entirety of the hour. And so basically yesterday what happened was we, unfortunately, on our first field goal, there's like a little chip in the ball, like inside the ball that tracks, the ball speed. It has all the statistical data in it, and it reports it to the league. And so they can check, the air in the ball and where the ball has been and all that stuff. And then also for us, the statistical data with, spin rate, velocity, all that stuff. So on our first field goal, I don't know if you guys if they were showing it on TV or not, but we kick the field goal, we make it. Tuck goes to the ensuing kickoff and he hears something rattling in the ball.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're all sitting there like shaking this ball and the chip has come loose and you can hear it moving in the ball. And so obviously we're like, all right, well, we're not going to play with that one. We're going to put it in ball 4. And so we put ball 4 in, and I don't know if it was that same exact kickoff or if it was the next kick, but the chip in ball 4 came loose. So never, and we have Sam Cook as one of our coaches, and he played, he's been in the NFL 19 years, 16 as a player. Never once have we used more than 1 ball in a game. Yesterday, we had to use all 3 of our balls, and so and it's no excuse because what I did on the punt was inexcusable on my behalf. I'm much better than that. And I've played with balls that are worse, but we got ball 6. And the first time I grabbed it was basically when I was going out for this punt and the ball just kind of slipped out of my hand. And we had to kind of make adjustments as the game went on with a ball that typically we would never play with. And, not saying that has anything to do with our performance, just we had overcome some adversity that we weren't used to experiencing, and I did a poor job of that. So I figured it out as the game went on. I got better, fortunately for the team, but luckily Jordan was able to field that first punt snap that damn near was on the ground, and he hit a hell of a punt too. So good for him.
Yeah, you know what? First off, that's the thing is when you explain all these things, what I love is you're like, yeah, if I felt I was dog shit or I didn't play well, you say it how it is. And like what I love is you said, I got to keep working. Like that's the mentality why with the Ravens, when people talk about this, is a track record. You guys are going to put it together. For you specifically, you're going to put it together. I didn't know that there was a chip that's rattling in the ball there.
I was just about to say, I feel like I actually, Zach and I were watching it together, and we were both like, what the hell is we saw Justin rattling.
Yeah.
Taking off the sideline, and everybody was rattling as well. We're like, what the hell's going on? So I'm glad you said that, because we were definitely planning on asking you that. The other thing I wanted to ask Nick, just to kind of switch gears and lighten things up a little bit. Did you know that Bill Belichick is going to have his all Belichick team he's going to announce halfway through the season on Thursday, and he's also including special teams?
Wow. He's probably gonna pick his boy Cardona for long snapper.
I was
having a hell of a year.
I'm gonna say, I feel like we got a campaign for that, right?
Yeah. Bill,
Bill, one thing Bill knows is football, and he knows, he's gone on multiple rants in his career about the importance of special teams and long snapper in particular. So
yeah,
whoever he decides, I know he's going to make a well-informed decision, and rightfully so. Joe Cardona, I think, is playing at the highest level right now in all of football for long snappers. He's got 4 tackles and a forced fumble early on, and he snapped the ball pretty well. And he did miss a game or two, but overall he's played well, and hopefully Bill is sticks to his Patriots, rightfully so.
Well, you know what? In general here, I guess if we're campaigning, I guess like technically, like elections next week here, but our campaign continues on this year for Nick Moore in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
I want you
disgusting on Twitter.
I want you to vote for Nick Moore. I want you to vote for Nick Moore 2020.
Well, we need to make a commercial campaign.
Oh, I was going to say, you got to get to the polls early, right?
I will still
early and often, boys. Hey, unlike the presidential election, you can vote more than one time. Okay,
we got to set up bots.
Legally, you can vote more than once. So let's get it done.
It was preseason, and I put out a tweet of like not enough people talking about that Nick Moore was 2 for 2 on extra point snaps. Someone comment underneath there and was like, "Are we really hyping up an effing long snapper?"
Right now?
You're damn right we are.
Hey.
And then I quoted it and said hashtag Pro Bowl vote Nick Moore just to get the train going.
He was like,
that's good stuff.
Lost in the preseason. We're worried about the long snapper. Like, take a break.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
But Nick, real fast. Switching to a little bit of a positive here. National Tight End Day yesterday. A few weeks ago, we asked you about Mark Andrews, about really if there was any concern with, Mark and kind of not being involved in the offense early on. Past 4 games, Bengals, 4 receptions, 55 yards. Commanders, 3 receptions, 66 yards and a tutty. Buccaneers, 4 receptions, 41 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then yesterday, the 5 receptions for 36 yards and the touchdown. What kind of confidence? I mean, obviously we know your confidence in Mark Andrews, but what does it mean for this team to kind of have him back at this elite level?
Mark has been, since I've been on the team, Mark has been, outside of Lamar, probably our most productive player on offense since I joined the team in 2020. And I kind of said it earlier in the season, we have a lot more talent on offense now. Obviously, Derrick Henry is the best running back in the game right now. Rashad Bateman's showing up. He's showing that he was a first-round draft pick for a reason. Zay Flowers is an electric player, Tyreek Hill type, can do a lot of things with the ball in his hands. Justice Hill is, playing at a really high level as the number 2 running back. And even Nelson Aguilar is playing really well. He's been a very dependable veteran wide receiver for us. And, we also got Isaiah Likely, who is I don't even know if you want to call him number 1A tight end. we got 1A and 1B with him and Mark. And so Lamar has had, and Todd does a really good job of getting guys involved in the offense and spreading the ball around to everybody, because for a while we were kind of, I know earlier on in 21 and 22, it was basically like if you could shut down Lamar and you could shut down Mark Andrews, there wasn't a whole lot we could do on offense. We had a lot of injuries at running back, and we didn't have even at wide receiver, we had some injuries with Bate, and we didn't quite have the playmakers that we have now at wide receiver. So, Lamar has had a lot more weapons this season. And I said it before, I think we were just, trying to get everyone worked into the system and try to figure out what works best for us. And we've seen the last 5 games really that Mark Andrews is still Mark Andrews and still one of the best tight ends in the game. I think he's probably, I'm biased. I think he's probably in that top 3 combo with Travis and George Kittle. And so to see Mark be able to be that guy who's been the go-to guy for Lamar for years, and he's starting to show up more and more in the offense. He's getting the plays. He's making plays when he gets the ball in his hands, and he's scoring touchdowns. And anytime that he gets going, he's kind of that workhorse for us. He's got, he's he's got a lot of energy on the offensive side. He's got a lot of sway on the offense, if you get what I'm saying. He's kind of that leader on our offense that we need when we need a big play and it's a 3rd and long, gotta have it, or 4th down. Mark's that guy, and for him to start showing up the way he's showing up for us is huge huge going down the stretch here. We got 9 games left, and we got 4 division games left, and I think having him rolling at full speed, full tilt, he's shaking off. He's not showing any signs of the ankle injury from last season, so I'm super excited for him, and I'm super excited for our team, because anytime we can get 89 rolling, man, it's better for everybody else, because they got to put a better cover guy on him because he's such a good wide receiver and good route runner, that it opens up possibilities down the field with other guys, and also opens up the run game with Derek and Justice and Lamar. So I know it's a win-win for us, and I think Mark's going to continue to trend upward just like he's doing. And if you don't have him on your fantasy team, or you got him on your bench, you should probably put him in.
Hey, by the way, you know what happened, Kev? You know what I did?
Did you pick him back up?
Oh,
or did you trade for him?
I blew my wad to get him back.
Let's go.
What'd he do? That was, I told you got to set him free. If you truly love something, you got to let him go.
So you're taking credit for the Mark Andrews redemption tour here.
You know what? I think Mark deserves all the credit, but on the fantasy side, yes, hypothetically.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
But to put that point into context here, and Zach, you mentioned it, the last 4 weeks, Mark Andrews has at least 55 yards or more receiving or a tutty in the last 4 weeks. The guy is getting hot. He's getting hot. You know what's getting hot here is the Pro Bowl voting for Nick Moore here. So if you guys want to vote for Nick Moore for the 2024 Pro Bowl, get your votes ready. We're already at the midway part of the season, actually going into week 9. So make sure you do that. And it's the Ryan Ripken Show. We do it live every Monday and Thursday, and on pregame shows on Sunday as well. So make sure you like and subscribe. And this little sit down is brought to you by our friends over at Adams Jeep of Maryland up in Aberdeen. Nick, I think they want us to do something up there. Maybe when it's the off season, we get you up there in a Jeep. They just opened up their Extreme Motorsports, by the way. So
I'm intrigued.
You can customize any car, Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet, whatever you want. But apparently they're going extreme up there at Adams Jeep. And then obviously our favorite thing, if you tell them that Rocco sucks, they'll give $1,000 in gas with a buy of a used car. Yeah, $1,000 sounds good.
I'd say it for free.
Yeah.
Rocco
sucks.
Rocco sucks.
Rocco sucks. Hashtag Rocco sucks. Hey, we got a couple more things for you here, Nick. You're a good kid, by the way. You look beautiful. You do.
Thank
you look
you.
good on camera. It's almost like it's professional.
I'm tired. We're still adjusting to the new addition to the Moore family. So it's been a long week for Ashley and myself, and luckily my mother-in-law has been here and my mom's here now. So they're taking away some of it, but I haven't caught up on my sleep yet. So I look a little drained out a little bit.
So is the Call of Duty game good today or no? Did it finish well?
I'm adapting. Black Ops is a much different game than Modern Warfare. So I took me a couple games to get my footing with the new movement, and the graphics are different. The feel of the gameplay is different, but I mean, come on.
So
When you got these mitts right here and you're on the sticks, I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah, we need a Nick Moore versus Ryan Ripken COD showdown.
Oh,
guys.
That's the one thing. It's the one thing that Nick might take me behind the woodshed on.
The
That's
one thing. That's
the one
the
thing.
only thing.
Maybe
What-
golf.
Maybe golf. I've seen that left-handed swing.
Oh yeah, the left-handed slice is something else.
Oh, dude, but when the slice gets fixed, sometimes I'll tell you what. Hey, how you doing? We get
Look at the
hot.
slice.
It's that baseball swing he's got. I'll probably be the only one that's competitive with Nick on the Call of Duty, I would guess.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I wasn't really-
You're pretty decent.
And then obviously Oklahoma Joe, Kevin.
Yeah, well, I'm not expecting to win that.
No,
I think Kevin's only goal is to come out of that thing alive.
Yeah, that's a win for me.
No broken bones.
hey, Nick, you know that Zorbing ball, like that giant inflatable? It's.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So in New Zealand, how we first found this out, I went there when I was a kid with my family, and they roll you down a freaking hill in it.
Did you do it?
Yeah. But so you have two options to do this. This is before they contained it, brought it to the U.S., and it became more of like what you see is people do bumper balls with that.
Mhm.
And that's what I was thinking for you. You get in the ball and full speed right at Nick.
Well, that's a safer option. I'll tell you that.
Maybe.
I'm not.
I
Well,
don't
the one.
know.
No.
Things
Well,
get launched.
yeah, the one thing that would happen is Nick would probably launch me like 50 yards down the field.
Well, then your leg might get broken.
You almost
Up top would probably be good, but
okay, well,
your
yeah,
hands
the
wouldn't be able to
legs.
fit
Yeah.
through
Okay.
the Zorb thing.
no, you're holding on to
Inside, yeah.
I didn't think about the legs being exposed. Yeah. Nick could just go low on me.
You would
at
be
that
like
point.
Humpty Dumpty.
Nick Moore.
Nick would just go low on me.
Nick
Go
doing
for the
a
legs.
chop block on that would be the funniest thing.
You know what? Actually, this is what I want. I want Nick Moore, and I know down the stretch here, we don't even have to record it. I'd love to see Linderbaum launch you like he's coming off the ball here, like he did against the Bills down the field 20 yards.
Oh, man.
Oh my God. I love for him to just full throttle. You're going to go reach a second player in the secondary and send
Man,
it.
you kidding? Go get Roquan and see what he can do.
We will need to do that on a football field though, because I need yard markers to see how far Kevin is.
Distance, yeah, we need to track the distance.
He starts on the 20 and up on
This
the
is like
45.
this is like one of those flash games you used to play growing up, where you would just launch someone
Just
and
put
you
one of
would,
those
you would get
chips-
personal
one of those
records.
football chips in that thing.
Yeah, see if it comes loose.
It would definitely lose.
I think that'd be a great way. How many hits does it take to get Kevin to the end zone? On a roll.
Not too many, probably.
That would be
It
fantastic.
wouldn't take that many, I don't think.
I forgot what I was going to say with that too, Nick. You're a good kid. There was another. Oh yeah, you talked about Kevin. I think we're talking about with kicking. That was one thing I wanted to ask you. But Kevin, we were talking about with the kick with Tucker.
Yeah, Nick. The first attempt you mentioned, kind of all the craziness that happened with that after the fact, but it seemed like he went down on a knee after that kick. Seemed like maybe he like lost his footing a little bit and then went over to like check on the field after he hit it. Was that something with the field, or did you yourself like notice anything, or was that just like he maybe lost his footing a little bit?
After talking with Tuck after that kick, after the first field goal that we made, the 49-yarder, he talked about his plant foot getting stuck in the ground, and Tuck takes like an aggressive approach to the ball, and he dives in pretty hard, and his left foot, like he loves to go down the field after he swings, and it like sometimes he'll get stuck, and by either he goes into the ground too much, or his foot slides a little bit. And on that particular one, he said his foot got stuck in the ground and he wasn't able to get down the field, and his momentum, it basically just buckled his knee a little bit, and he fell down. I told him he was just trying to copy Harrison Butker, but he didn't like that too much. I thought the playing surface was pretty good. The paint was rather thick. And so that could definitely cause, him to get stuck in the ground a little bit. But for the most part, I felt like the field was decent playing. I mean, it's better than some of the places we played this year for sure. And it was good to get there when it was still warm outside, so the ground wasn't as hard. But it was kind of soft, so I guess his plant leg was just getting stuck in the ground a little too much.
When it's a thick field.
That's what I was saying. The biggest takeaway from this: Browns use a thick paint.
Thick paint.
They do. Their paint, like their little thing in the middle of the field, their logo, whatever, that little guy they got.
Oh,
little elf guy or whatever they have.
Mm-hmm.
That paint, and then like the big thick white lines on the sidelines, like those were like the paint was like sticking to like all of our cleats. So like when we did the punt, we had a pooch punt basically in the logo, and it's hard to explain. It kind of feels like heavy when you like put your foot in the ground. It's like doesn't come up exactly how you want it, like it's supposed to, or you think it's going to move. So it's like a little bit delayed, and you definitely feel it a little bit. So I know we were noticing it in warm-ups, because I usually warm up but on the 45 and 45 right in the middle of the field, because I like to get a feel for what the logo is. And that it was definitely sticky yesterday.
It was.
This is the information that you need to know, though.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put it out there for betting purposes. Now I know if we're playing in Cleveland, people are going to be like, "You like anything in Cleveland?" I'm like, "Watch out for the thick paint." I
just want a like a note card of almost each stadium you go to. How's the field conditions? Thick paint.
They got to put that now. Put that on.
We have some very interesting adjectives to describe some of the fields we play on. So, like in Tampa Bay, man, it was dangerous. That field was not in great shape. They had recently laid down Bermuda sod. It was very undulated, so there were like potholes basically in the field. Like you'd be like on the surface, and then it would go like and then come right back up, and then and it's like. I know there was a couple times where like during warm-ups where like one of my feet were lower than my other one, and it just throws you off. Like it's what we do, mainly speaking into the kicking game, because what we do is so precise, and like everything has to be done exactly to like the nanometer, that anytime you get thrown off a little bit, whether it's the undulation on the field or for instance the stickiness with the paint, like it's things that we can handle, but it just takes a minute to adjust to. And every field is different. We're blessed in Baltimore. We have, I would argue, the best playing surface in the NFL. Not, obviously turf is much flatter, for instance, and it's, it's easy to maintain. But like our field with the Bermuda that we have and the money that Mr. Bisciotti puts in, and the team that we have that takes care of our field at the stadium, it's always immaculate, and I'm very thankful for that. So
I am too. I'm also really proud of the word undulation.
Undulation.
So first off, I know you didn't just learn that on your own. You heard someone else say that.
I know it from golf. Okay.
So
got a lot of undulated greens out there.
Okay, can you spell undulation?
It's undulation.
Undulation. Sorry,
and I cannot spell to say
no. We're gonna spell it here. Spell undulation.
I have no idea if it's an O. I guess O-N-J.
Okay, wrong. Let's try this again. It begins
U-N-J. U-N-J.
Wrong.
G. U-N-G.
Wrong. Think about what do you wear if you're not wearing boxers? You might wear what underneath? Not
leggings.
A jock strap.
Okay, different word for wearing like boxer briefs. Begins with a U.
Underwear.
There you go. So U-N-D.
It's U-N-D-J.
That was a terrible way to get in there. Like that was so
U-N-D-J-U.
No. Okay.
U-N-D-G.
No.
I don't know where we're going with this.
What the hell is it?
U-N-D-U-L-A-T-I-O-A.
Undulation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's undulation, but it's the action of moving smoothly up and down. The soft.
There you go.
Oh. See, I studied math and finance in college. I can't spell for shit. So.
See, there we go.
Nick, hey, real quick, man. Did anybody react to Lamar getting kicked out there yesterday?
I did not know he got kicked.
Oh, he got kicked. He
I'm hearing
tripped, and then he commented on it being
he said he got kicked. I mean, I
got him in the
someone tripped him.
He got tripped on the field.
Yeah,
he was going, and then the guy just went, "Hey, how you happy? Look out!" Stuck his leg out. Yep, there.
Oh, what the?
Yeah. So Lamar,
Did he hurt his leg on the play too? Aye.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Making celebration.
Yeah, right. And
What?
Yeah, and the ref said it was okay.
That's highly illegal, by the way. You cannot use your feet like that. We learned that from Antonio Brown. So you're definitely not allowed to use your feet. It's not a tool to make a tackle with. Okay.
Literally,
It's
Gene Steratore
It's a
had
tripping, unsportsmanlike tripping penalty right there.
Yeah.
So apparently, I'm Lamar tweeted out that he said talk to the refs about it and that he was allowed to do that. But I was just curious if anybody had said anything, or if you didn't see it. But obviously, you're getting a first look at it too. But I was just like, what the hell? Yeah,
I did not see that. That is, if that's illegal, that's good by that guy. That's a hell of a play.
I'm going to be honest.
I don't know if I like it, but I mean, shit.
No, I'm gonna be technical
already.
Yeah, Gene Steratore already came out and said
He's the one who actually made the original tweet that was like, how was this not called?
And Lamar, did Lamar comment? No, he commented on
Sarah. Sarah responded to Gene, and then Lamar responded to Sarah saying that he got kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw it out there. Don't tell anyone on the defense to do that next game. Guaranteed it's going to get flagged.
We're going to watch Nick
well,
run on a
we
punt
get flagged for everything, so nature of our job.
Hey, yeah, Nick's gonna go down there. Got to make a tackle, throw his right leg out, and then do a leg celebration on top of it.
Hey, I'll do a stanky leg.
That's right.
Nick, you're a
the
good
fans would love it, dude.
Oh my God!
Honestly, if you guys made like a game-winning kick and I see you do a stanky leg after it,
now it has to happen.
That would be incredible.
Don't tempt me with a good time, bro. Don't tempt me with a good time. I mean, I'll probably do the worst stinky leg impression of all time, but
that's what makes it good.
That's
I
what
could probably get it to work.
Kevin wore a banana hat in here last time, and I grabbed him by his banana hat.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this banana on whatever this costume's going to be.
No, yeah. I feel very normal today. Didn't really feel that way on Thursday.
I don't know if that's the word I described.
Yeah.
More normal.
We'll make sure, Nick, next time you get to grab or to see Kevin's banana costume.
All right. Okay.
Okay, dude. Jeez, I thought I was bad. My God.
Costume.
Yeah.
Costume.
After a pause.
Get your guys' head out of the gutter here. Okay. Hey, Nick. I think that's all we got for you. Brad, any other final words for our friend Nick Moore?
No, thanks for taking the time, bro. We appreciate you coming.
Of course, guys.
And try to get some rest. Try to get better. I think one guy said he'd to close it out here. Cube says PC superiority. You can pry my mouse and keyboard from my cold dead hands. I think Cube might think he can beat you too. And you're a PC guy.
Yeah, but I play on controllers. So
That's what I do.
Yeah, I have an 11.
I don't have the dexterity to play keyboard and mouse. You know,
No, me either.
only weirdos play keyboard and mouse.
Agreed.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I use that for we had to talk about backyard baseball. We had to play it one time. All right, Nick. Appreciate you. Love the family. You're a good kid. I'll be bothering you later about something. All right.
All right, boys. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Nick.
All right, Nick
Peace
Moore,
out,
everybody.
Nick.
Nick Moore. He's a good kid. I love the fact
Real
that he
good
didn't
kid.
see that play.
I know. I wasn't expecting it. I thought, you see something like that, and especially if Lamar's complaining about it, that you would think that it would have been talked about. But
I can't say I'm surprised after he didn't know Geno Stone was on the Texans.
That's
and he
my
was
favorite story
it was
that
like
he's told.
3 weeks that Geno Stone was on the Texans, and Nick Moore did not, who claimed he was one of his closest friends on the team at the time, and was like, yeah, I didn't know Geno was gone.
It would have been my favorite thing ever if Geno had left and come back. Nick didn't know, and we broke the news to him on the show that Geno just wasn't on the team.
Yeah. I'll never forget asking him how he felt last year. It was one of our first conversations. I went downstairs to get him in the elevator, and I was like, yeah, so Ravens, I was like, how we feeling about Ravens signing Dalvin Cook? And he was like, oh, nice. We got Dalvin Cook. And I'm like, yeah, officially signed like an hour ago. And he's like, nice.
Yeah.
And then it was silent. He goes, when did Dalvin get released by the Jets? I was like a week ago. I was like a week ago.
He's a good kid. He's a good kid. But overall, guys, that was Nick Moore. We have him on. And what I love with Nick, though, this is why we try to make it light for him, like the undulation word. I'm really proud of him. That was an incredible.
That was a great word for him.
And honestly, to be fair, if I didn't look it up, I would not spell it right either.
No, I actually didn't spell it right the first 3 times I tried.
But fantastic word. But in general, what I love with Nick as well, he's transparent. Like, he's not afraid to say, like, hey, I could have played better. I sucked. Like, and he even told us that. He texted us that, being like, that was one of the worst halves of my career. But give the team credit. They're going to try to find a way to fix it there. So we appreciate that. But now comes the time. We appreciate you all. Hit that like and subscribe button. But it is time to let your voice be heard for our channel members here, Brad. Correct? The call-in lines are now open.
That's correct.
That is correct. Spanish Armada.
Name that movie, Kevin.
1588. That is correct.
Correct.
I'm not even.
Jesus.
I'm not even going to
We've
guess.
been giving it to
We
you all
also,
show.
so like if we use the same, we've quoted the same movie 2 or 3 times now.
God damn it, dude.
Say Madison.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
First try.
Christ.
Let's go. First try.
Hum now,
God,
hum now.
I tell you what, we've been good at throwing the Billy Madison quotes in within context.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
It's a skill.
All right. I think, well, Joe's leaving now. He was in there, but Joe's gone. So why don't we go to our next caller here? Oh, another caller left.
I was gonna say, I don't know what's going on with the calls.
But again, also, guys, for you guys that know, we were up at Hollywood Casino Charlestown Races in West Virginia. We had a great time there. And obviously, we have a lot of things planned with them in the future, just like our other sponsor, Adams Jeep of Maryland, who's been one of our OGs from the beginning. We have more that's going to be going on up there in Aberdeen. They're 5 minutes down from the Ironbird Stadium there. So make sure you guys check them out. And we got a lot more things planned for tailgating. Deep Eddy Vodka ain't going away. They gave us a new bat, which is not really a bat, but
I
we
was
use it.
swinging with that thing the other
Swinging
day.
that
I want to do
thing.
that again.
And Stuggies has a really cool opportunity that's upcoming. So stay tuned, which other ways to give back to our community, because that's what we're about. Now I'm hearing some names pop in here. How we doing this, Brad? Who we going with first?
Let's just go ahead and go with Joe because he did pop in first.
All right. Caller number 1, Joe.
Struggling here.
Joe.
Joe, are we?
Joe.
Earth to Joe.
Joe.
It looks like you've seen a ghost. You've seen a ghost.
I see dead people.
Oh my God.
Joe.
Oh shit, that was hilarious.
That was.
I have no words.
Why don't we bring on our...
Let's bring on
Also,
Laura. Laura.
I'm sorry, I can't get over that with Joe. Hi.
Hi, Laura. Yeah, he was looking both ways. And you know what? Maybe he was driving. That was the good thing. He was looking both ways. We don't need anyone to be driving while they're on the set there.
Yes, please.
True.
Good kid. Hey, Laura, how we doing? How we feeling? Oh, it's there it is. Let it out. Vent it out here with us.
I'm just so disappointed because I really, really thought they had this game yesterday. I really did. But you all were correct. Admiral Akbar. It was a trap.
Trap. We need to get down the soundboard.
We do.
It's a trap.
We need something. We need something. I gotta figure that out.
I mean, I'm happy for, my cousins in DC with the Commanders. I mean, that was awesome. I was sitting here. It's funny. My daughter and I were sitting here listening to the game, eating our wings because, Sunday, it's wings. And I hear this Hail Mary and I literally get up and jump up and there's like wing sauce all over me because I was just so excited. And my daughter's like, what are you yelling about? I'm like, I just won the game. And she's like, okay. Because she was done because, her soon to be husband, CJ Stroud, had already won. So, so she was already done for the day. So,
your future son-in-law.
Yeah, future son-in-law, CJ. Yeah, that's it. That's really it. Oh, thank you for the Packers. I did win that.
Oh, you won? Well, I ended up losing, unfortunately, myself. So did you get him at 3 or what'd you get him at? Did you money line?
I did it for straight win.
Oh, one of us won. I just
I just wanted to just win outright. So thank you.
They were up 10 with like 6 minutes to go. And
then they had to kick a game winner.
Game winning field goal.
Yep.
That
Sorry, Ryan. We need that on the soundboard too. Womp womp.
Oh, I think we have that on the soundboard actually.
We do.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's somewhere on there, right, Brad?
There it
is. Damn it. Yeah, but well, you know what? That was good. I'm glad I could help you win a little bit on this Sunday. Yeah, but the Ravens, yeah, we watched it. It was rough. It was brutal. But now they got 2 home games in a row, and if they do what they need to do, they get back to, they get up to 7-3, right? Like they're in a great spot. Hopefully, Pittsburgh drops the game tonight. I'll be honest, I don't see that happening. I saw Jessica saying "Go Giants" in the comments. We would love the Giants to win tonight.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Danny Dimes.
But it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, but
hey, Malik Neighbors is playing tonight, right?
He's playing tonight.
I mean,
I'm not putting any money on it. Let me put it that way.
Let's put it that way.
No.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Any final thoughts, Laura, before we let you go?
No, that was it. Sorry, I have nothing exciting.
That's okay. Did you get your bottle of Deep Eddy, though?
I did.
Hey.
Hell yeah. Well,
grapefruit is good. I like that. Grapefruit with a little club soda.
I told you, girlfriend.
It's
Okay.
good.
Hey. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate you.
What was that, Brad?
Yeah,
I
whoa.
I told you, girlfriend.
We're gonna have to clip that. Oh my god.
Laura knows what I'm talking about.
Right.
It was, hey, the phrase is good, but that was good, Brad.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
All right, Laura, we'll let you go. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Laura.
Glad you got a win, and we'll talk to you soon, okay? All right. Who do we got next?
Well, I don't know. There's 2 Joes in here. Does this one work?
No, that's not the right.
That's the wrong Joe. That's Joe's
Joe.
evil brother,
Okay.
Mo.
We're kicking that one out.
I think
we're gonna Joe.
Joe, can you hear us?
Now I think.
Joe! Joe, bark. Nope. We can hear you.
All right. All right.
Let's get Jabo on here.
Jabo.
Jabo.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, Jabo? How we doing, man?
Oh, I've been better.
Yeah.
I've been better.
Talk to me.
Haven't we all?
So I just knew after we lined up for that Wildcat on the first drive, I was saying, please take the points, Harbaugh. Please. Don't do what you always do. And he did it. And they got cute and they got punked. And that was it. From that point on, I knew it's going to be a bad game. And then when Tucker missed, we dropped the interception. It just wasn't in the cards.
I completely agree. We were even saying at the casino. The second I will say I was team go for it. Team go for it in any other formation other than that.
Right, exactly. Any other formation.
On the head.
You can't take Lamar off the field. What
Yeah.
are we doing?
Can't take
Why
Lamar
are you taking your best player off the field?
Correct.
And me and Kevin talked about yesterday on Ken Zach React. The kind of what it felt like the main issue with the Ravens offense yesterday was exactly what you said. It was over and over. They tried to get too cute. The Isaiah Likely fake, reverse, and then the little trip toss to Isaiah Likely on the screen underneath. And like that could have been a loss of 5. And Isaiah Likely made like 3 guys miss to even get back to the line of scrimmage. And I think they're on like the 4-yard line. It just, when they got close to the line, I completely agree. They got too close, and it was established on that very first drive. The last thing the Ravens could afford to do on that last drive, or the first drive, was
0 points. That's it.
Yeah, that thing is on the road. That's the only thing I'll say. I got no problem if you believe you got your offense and you got Lamar and you got Derrick Henry, but you want to try to both those guys on the field, and in that moment, you want them on. However, getting points on an opening drive on the road, divisional game, I'm always about taking it because at least it sets a standard.
Right.
That gave the Browns a little bit more of like hope off the start, like, hey, great stop. And then they were able to build off of it, right? And look, they played inspired football. Jameis Winston had some pregame speeches for the ages, and that was a team that was playing inspired, right? And then obviously we mentioned earlier, thanks to Chris, Jim Donovan, their play-by-play guys. It looked like the Browns just had things going their way, but the Ravens, in certain ways, they enabled some of those things to happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part that hurts.
And it won't be totally, Debbie Downer, but the fact that Lamar came back, that 4 minutes, 4:49 left, 2-minute drive, just got the lead. I mean, we had a chance. I mean, even with everything that happened, we still should have won, could have won, and it's just disappointing. But live and learn, I guess. But good thing is the Broncos have a good record, so hopefully, we'll play better.
Hey, the Ravens got two very quality teams coming up. Denver's offense might not be this juggernaut, but their defense is solid. They're playing solid ball. And then Cincy's looking for revenge. So we're talking about another AFC North battle there. I think we're going to see one here.
It's a short week, isn't it? Is that Thursday?
They'll be the following Thursday. That's exactly right. So
we could either have a really good week or a really bad week.
We're going to find out. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe
it.
And last thing I'll just say, go Dodgers. Go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers. Hey, Jabbo, appreciate you. See you back on Thursday.
Oh, yep.
We lost Jabbo. We'll see him back on Thursday. Who do we got up next here, Brad?
Zach Wilder.
Oh my goodness! Live from the Republic Dominicana.
Oh yeah, hey guys.
You got power back on.
Power and internet.
Oh, I talked to Zach. What was it, Saturday when I was driving up to good old Charlestown races for Hollywood Casino in West Virginia. He had no power. I was talking to him in the dark. It's kind of like,
it was pitch black here. I was laying on my couch, just like, So I'm in the back of a country club. I have a bicycle. There's like no street lights, so I'm not riding my bike anywhere. Just like today, I went to go play catch, rode my bike up to my buddy's place, and got torrentially downpoured on. So that was fun. But back to the football game. I'm not able to completely watch all of it, but the fact that the Browns, I went to a game earlier this year against the Giants, and the Giants are the Giants, just like the Browns are the Browns. I don't think I've ever seen a worse game of football in person played by a team at the professional level that the Browns played, and the fact that they won yesterday just blows my mind.
Yes, it wasn't Deshaun there.
Well, maybe, but were the Ravens not running the ball? Because I got Derrick Henry on my fantasy team, and
he had 70 yards and a tutty. It wasn't like 150 and 3 touchdowns.
Only on 11 carries.
Timeout, on 11 carries.
Yeah.
He was averaging 7 yards to carry, and they stopped running the ball again. Actually, I would like to bring this up, Zach, if you got some time. We do have Shannon Sharp talking about this very same thing and how it kind of reminded him about the AFC Championship game.
No, don't say that.
Threw the football, 17 times more than they ran the football, knowing that Derrick Henry had been on a tear that we hadn't seen in a very long time from a running back, and to take the football out of his hands. Why? Because here's the thing. You know your defense is not very good in pass coverage. Okay, you're down your 2 top corners. So why would you not run the football to limit their ability to get on the field? The last thing that you want to do if you have a weak defense is put them on the field, because if they can't stop somebody when they're fresh, what happens when they get tired? They wear down even more. It looks even worse. So I was very surprised with the game plan, given how well.
So that was the comments from Shannon Sharp, and I could not agree more. It was one thing we didn't bring up, but Zach reminded me of that. So appreciate that.
Yeah, I think just watching football, he is a guy that I know Harbaugh said we didn't bring him in to run 30 times a game, but that's what he's good at. And when you're running 30 times a game, that opens up play action, that opens up the long ball with Zay Flowers, that opens up everything. That is the staple of your offense.
Yeah,
I was actually looking at it, Kev. I mean, the Browns I thought Browns defense front seven usually pretty solid. They're 18th in the league in rushing yards allowed.
Yeah, this is not the Browns defense of old. They're still a good unit, right? Still a good unit, but it's not like the top 3 unit we've been used to over the last couple of years from this team. It's more so, they're top 10 or top 12 in this category, which is still good, but just not like, that's the wanted Browns defense. And they've lost some guys too, by the way.
That also is, by the way, to finish that point, it's the least amount of carries Derrick Henry has had since, I'm going back to this, since week 1, where he had 13 against Kansas City. It's the least amount of rushing yards he's had since week 2, when he had 84. He hasn't had less than 84 yards since week 2 against the Raiders, which was the last time the Baltimore Ravens lost. So maybe, Zach, you're on to something, man. But, still screw you with the Browns. I'm happy. No, just kidding. Good for you.
We fight for the name on our helmet.
That's right.
Wait for the decal, baby.
Fight for the decal.
You're a good kid, man. I'm going to give you a call after this, and I'll get you set up so you can help us do some Ryan Ripken Show things. Cool?
All right, boys. Talk to you later.
See you,
man.
Zach Lowther. By the way, professional baseball player, Zach Lowther. For those that
Very
didn't
good.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Teammate and roommate of Ryan Ripken in the minor leagues, and he was Baltimore Oriole as well, and now he is playing in winter ball down there in the Dominican Republic. So let's keep it moving here. Who do we got next?
We
Brad?
got Rick.
Rick.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're doing well. It's good to be with some friends. How are you doing this Monday?
I'm doing all right. Still feeling the gut punch from yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of just talked about what I was going to talk about, not running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That, and I think we really need some help on that defensive line. Man, he had way too much time back here in the pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the biggest part, Rick, right? Like we're saying, what would people want to see more of? Secondary help, or would it be pass rush? And when we had Nick Moore on, obviously, Nick was saying, like, look, the Browns offensive line actually held up well, but the biggest thing is Jameis Winston was upright a lot of the game. He had time to go through his progressions and make throws, and Jameis doesn't lack arm talent, right? When the Ravens beat down the Bills and Josh Allen, they had him under duress all night. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing right there is the pass rush was not getting home yesterday, and for a depleted secondary, Jameis made the Ravens pay.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we still had a chance to win the game, I mean,
yep.
Missed a couple passes, dropped some balls, dropped a lot of balls on defense. But, when you have a great offense, you're not always going to have a great defense. But I think if they could get one really good pass rusher, which, easier said than done, would make a huge difference.
Yeah, I think that's the part, Kev. We were talking about this. Like, in Josh Uche went to the Chiefs.
Josh Uche went to Kansas City for a 6th round pick.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily about the player. I think it's more about, first of all, why are teams helping Kansas City? Second, it's, Kansas City's doing stuff to make their team better.
I don't know. Josh Uche's had 2 sacks all season.
Well, okay, so this is our point here is, would anyone, when the Ravens signed Kyle Van Noy last year, did they think that he was going to be one of the top sack guys on the team and still been like the leader, maybe the leadership component veteran-wise, but he has been one of their most productive players on the defensive side. So I'd say a change of scenery would be helpful, right? So that's the point. We don't know if Josh is going to be a difference maker for the Chiefs, but I think what we're saying is there are options out there that could be affordable, right, Kev? That's what we're kind of getting.
Yeah, and a lot of them are former Ravens, guys like Jadeveon Clowney, Darius Smith, Calais Campbell. So, yeah.
Hey, you know what? The Dolphins can't figure it out there. Calais, come on home.
Please. I'm with it.
I don't know. Zadarius Smith would be a great trade.
But
he's being shopped around.
But was that scorned a little bit that he went away from Baltimore, had the deal? Then
you know what? I'm going to say it. I was completely for getting Zadarius back until yesterday. He sacked Lamar and did the Ray Lewis dance. I was like, get him out of here.
Well, maybe he's saying bring me back.
Maybe, if you
that'd be an interesting conversation.
Spin zone, maybe that's right, Kevin. I'm back in.
Yeah, man.
Also, by the way, I mean, I could be wrong on this, but sack wise for the Ravens, are they 5th in the NFL in sacks?
Well, a lot of that was early season, if it's true. But
very early season,
right?
Pass
but
rush
so
was playing well.
Early on for sure.
Like how Van Noy.
They've gotten really predictable.
Yeah. And all that being said, football's funny. Sometimes it's just not your day, We had every chance to win that game. Sometimes the ball just is not going bouncing your way, I mean, guys aren't normally going to drop all them passes, So
on both offense and defense.
Yeah.
One play here or there, and we're having a completely different conversation. So it's not all doom and gloom. Just got to get back to work and, go one game at a time here.
Yep. Yeah, they're in a great. Hey, Rick, like you said, you got to move on. They're still in a great spot. Disappointing result, but maybe this could be the the biggest learning point for the Ravens moving forward. Maybe this is the reminder of we still need a lot of things to fix, but we're right on the path. Well, Rick, we appreciate you as always. You become, as our community sees, one of the favorite call-ins. We got our group, but will we see you on Thursday if you're available?
Yes, sir. You know it.
Hell yeah, Rick. I appreciate you, man. You enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Next up, we got. We'll see if Joe.
Is it working?
I'm here. You got
it?
Let's go.
The StreamYard app wasn't working, so I have to use the browser. I don't know what the hell was going on, but
yeah,
we gotta make it quick, Joe.
Clean the browser history, man.
Yeah. Arkansas fact for the day.
Yes, what we got down in Arkansas?
29 of 75 counties are dry, and only 21 cities are approved for Sunday sales of alcohol. And if you want to change from a dry county to a wet county, you need 38% of your registered voters to get it on the ballot. And then obviously you need 51% of said voters to agree to do so.
Are you in a dry or wet county?
I am currently in a dry county.
Yeah, I think we've had this conversation with Joe before about him being, maybe it was in group or the Discord or something. I do remember you saying something, Joe, about a dry county.
You know what? You know what the ironic thing is about dry counties? Lynchburg, Tennessee. Joe probably knows this. Lynchburg, Tennessee is home of what?
Jack Daniels, and it's a dry county.
And it's a dry county.
But the kicker is in Arkansas, if you're a distillery, you can sell packaged goods on Sunday, and a brewery. So you can go, there's 4 distilleries and I think like 15 breweries now. They can't operate in dry counties and sell, but they can operate in dry counties and have retail inside the establishment, but you cannot sell for take home because the ABC private club license won't allow it.
That's fast. Look, Kevin, take notes on this, by the way, for fascinating facts. And actually, while we're doing the spin that globe right here,
right now,
spin it so you can pull up these facts.
This is pressure. Okay,
Joe, guaranteed Kevin ends up in the ocean here.
100,000%, 1,000%. All right, here we go.
Tie that all together. I got one more for you. There's 330 private clubs in 29 dry counties in the state. And what that means is they have the ability to sell alcohol in their restaurants and bars, but they cannot advertise it. So you don't know they have it until you go in there.
What?
So crazy.
So you could.
This is in Arkansas.
These are like those, Kevin. These are the facts.
Kevin, I've been good with my facts recently.
Wait. That is, you can sell it, but you can't advertise it.
That is correct. You cannot have.
I would have
happy hour. They cannot put happy hour on the marquee outside or have neons or anything. Inside, there's neons all day long with all the beer companies and everything else, but it cannot be on the window.
Empty beer bottle.
I would have nothing but windows on the front of my bar, and then like all the neon.
So what if you put it? If it's a neon sign inside, is that advertisement? If it's just your bar and it's just like alcohol is here.
It can be inside, and like Brad said, you open the windows and you can see inside, and you can see it, but it cannot be on the outside window towards the street.
Yep,
that is wild, Joe. And by the way, Kevin landed in the ocean.
Yeah, I did. I had to respin.
How does that happen every time?
Joe, thanks for coming on and sharing that with us today, Joe. We got to run, big guy.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, Joe.
Appreciate you, Joe.
Later.
Third time's a charm.
Kevin, where the hell did you land?
Ghana.
Oh, we're going back to Ghana, Africa.
So yeah, I'm trying to get the facts going. Apparently,
I know sister wives are a thing in Ghana. I know that.
Oh, I did not know.
Not really sister wives like the Mormon ones, but like multiple wives is a thing in Ghana. Fun fact.
This says Ghana is the world's second largest cocoa producer, only to Cote d'Ivoire, which is the number 1.
Ivory Coast, one of the first.
One of the
Kevin
ones that
Gloves,
we've landed on before.
Which, by the way, I have the list of the people that we're going to do the spinoff on for the randomizer. So it's out there, by the way, and it's actually some of our regulars that did it that joined in. So I'll give you guys until I see the post later tonight. But I have the list of people that are on it. It's your last chance to enter in for that Deep Eddy vodka. Continue, Kevin.
Let's see. We got Ghana is almost exactly the same size as the UK.
Okay.
Over 250 dialects are spoken in Ghana.
Damn.
Oh.
I think English is the primary language there.
Apparently, it's also.
I know this, Joe, because I have friends.
You have friends.
Ghanan friends. Is it
Ghanan?
Ghanan? Is it Ghanan?
Ghanan.
Ghanan?
I'm Ghanan.
Hey, I'm seeing and maybe this
Ghanadian?
is according to facts.net, could be wrong, but saying the country has launched its own space program in hopes to launch a satellite.
Oh, wow.
But that was in 2015. It says hopes to. I feel like that's very outdated.
Yeah, we're 10 years coming up on it. It's crazy. 2015 was almost 10 years ago now.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And you were just born.
No.
Yesterday, Lindsay, they actually asked Rocco yesterday.
Where the
if he
kid
will know
was?
how old Rocco was.
That's what I don't. Yeah,
But then she did ask where the kid was.
Yeah, because I had to call Rocco out because he told me that they're so disappointed that the little kid isn't coming, and I said, is that word for word what she said, or are you making that up and that is what you think of me?
No,
And
she
he
said
"No."
that. She said little kid.
Well, because they're probably looking forward to another photo shoot.
Yeah, that's actually why.
Yeah, which I'm so mad I couldn't go. I'm looking forward to the next one we do it.
Red 7. Oh, we'll be back up there. Any couple more facts before we get out of here?
Apparently, despite the fact that this is the second largest cocoa producer, it is very hard to find chocolate there.
What?
All right.
So kind of it just apparently it's very hard to find chocolate. They have some man-made lakes. Not really. I'm not on my fat game today with this.
You're not,
My
'cause
fat
Ghana-
game-
You could tell.
Ghana,
yeah.
From what I understand, they have really good food there too. Ghana cuisine.
Yeah, here we go. Ghana cuisine is Ghanaian cuisine is diverse and flavorful with jollof rice. Apparently,
Yeah, jollof rice. Oh yeah.
Oh, that
Shit's so
yeah,
good.
sounds
a couple
great.
of other things on here.
Well, that's the thing with
the
it's got-
plantains.
it's
the
got
plantains are
a.
fire.
This is one thing I said for the cuisine. Is it fufu? A dough-like food made
Yes,
from
yeah. I saw
cassava
that
and
on there.
plantains.
Yes, yeah. I just said that.
Traditional dish, often served with soup or stew.
Yeah. Food's
Man,
fire.
I'm getting hungry now.
Actually, one time I had a food from a Ghana inspired food truck. Oh, could have eaten everything on that menu.
Really could have.
Oh yeah,
That sounds really good.
The
See
j-
now
jollof rices.
Mhm.
So good.
now
Yeah, yeah.
I'm getting hungry. We still got people tuning into all the facts here,
Yeah, always.
which is nuts. I was actually gonna.
I don't know what's wrong with you people.
I guess we should wrap up.
We
here in a
should.
second.
You wanna
We're well
do,
over.
you want to do a
Yeah.
challenge with
Well,
me?
no, so just real fast. I'm trying to get this. So apparently there's a ban on music in Ghana during certain times.
What?
Really?
Because it's during some festival, and I guess that's why I'm trying to. I'm like 3 Google searches deep trying to figure this out now. Because I saw it was like there's a ban on for some festival. So the ban, I guess, ended June 6, 2024.
Yes.
But I'm trying to figure out why it was. Why was there a ban on music? You can't. I like how they also say it's not just a ban on music; it's a ban on noise.
Oh, you just can't it's a quiet place. You can't talk.
It's something about. I mean, it's
That's.
It's
I
like
don't think
old,
it's a quiet place, Kevin. Do you know
No,
that
it
movie?
was-
Yes, that's why I said it.
It's something like
I'm the movie buff here.
Kevin, there's aliens that kill you.
I
if
know.
you
I haven't
move.
seen the movie, but I know of the movie.
Wait,
What?
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 You just said you're a movie buff, but you haven't seen the movie.
Well, I did see. What movie did I see?
It was hashtag sarcasm for one.
Yeah.
Oh, it was hashtag.
Come on.
Well, screw your sarcasm.
We're done.
We're done.
Billy
Is that
Madison.
it?
Yeah. So okay. So from May 6th
Oh,
until June 6th, it was. I guess music's banned there. I
So
don't know.
a month.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Weird times.
And you know what? But this is
Clapping of hands is banned.
Wow.
what?
Yeah, noise-making activities including clapping of hands, the use of tambourines, like that's their choice of what they were, and other musical instruments are prohibited during this period.
No
It's
maracas.
Yeah,
No
it's-
maracas, Kevin.
Tragic. Tragic.
Okay.
Yep.
And is that? Are we seeing?
Bah, 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 bah.
As always, here on the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll be back on Thursday for another episode. As always, though, have a day, have a night. Hit that like and subscribe on the way out. And we will talk to you all soon. Peace. Yeah, would they ban dancing?
Probably.
So apparently, even if you're having a funeral or a married